Toby, I thought maybe Anthony you mentioned too, I assume you've worked with him a lot, and kind of just your thoughts on what he brings since, we haven't seen him much.
Yeah, if you've seen the highlights, he's such a gifted scorer and he has such a high IQ for the game of basketball. And he's really good at teaching guys too. He's one of those new guys that has been helping me, kind of offensively fit into the system. Even though he hasn't played here, he understands the game so well that he's able to help everyone offensively and defensively. I think he's a guy that's going to bring a great amount of scoring, and he'll keep improving on defensive end along with me and the new guys like Tobe. So definitely a great addition for sure.
Over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
You are listening to Tucson's home of the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
Thursday, and a great Thursday afternoon to you in the city as we take the turn toward the weekend. 2 more shows with you this week. No shows next week. We'll be taking our final vacation before the start of the athletic year here at the University of Arizona, the official start to practices when we get back with you on July the 29th. If you were listening to Rich Eisen, he's telling Good Morning Football. They were talking to the young lady that hosts Good Morning Football. They said they're back on the air July 29th, and that's when we'll be back on the air, kind of to start our official fall camp for the lead up to the start for the 5 fall sports that fall at the University of Arizona, those being football, soccer and volleyball on the women's side, and then the combination sports of men's and women's cross country. We can talk about all that today. 520-848-1290. We'll give you another look into Arizona football. Coming up, we'll focus on the defensive line today. A few things changing there, maybe in the philosophy as we have this new coaching staff under Brent Brennan here in Tucson. Joe Samalo is taking over the defensive line work. We'll hear from him, as well as Tai Ugalele, as well as Dominic Lolicio. We'll hear their thoughts on the new philosophy and how it will play this year for your Arizona Wildcats. No baseball still today. We get back to Major League Baseball tomorrow. These are largely considered, or have always been largely considered, 2 of the slowest sports days on the planet. The 2 days after the All-Star break in baseball, because there is not much going on. We've got, and it was interesting, and we'll get into what happened last night in the WNBA, another historic night. But if I was the WNBA, I would absolutely be taking advantage of these 2 days. There are no games in the WNBA tonight because they're now officially on the All-Star break. But just 2 games last night. Heck, I'm sorry, there were, let's see. There were 2 games last night. Heck, I would have maybe had a triple header and had all 3 of those games on national TV. And that's a perfect, again, Wednesday and Thursday after the All-Star game, Major League Baseball All-Star game are 2 days. If I'm leading the WNBA, then I'm looking and saying, hey, we need to get our product out there on those 2 days, showcase our people, and make sure everybody understands who we are, what we got going. I mean, there was talk this week of a new TV deal that's on the horizon for the WNBA. So definitely, if I'm them, I'm looking at that. And last night we had a game that featured one of the current stars, young stars, future star of the league, the face of the league right now, and Caitlin Clark. And boy, did she not disappoint? 19 dimes.
It's a lot.
19 dimes last night. Now, they didn't win the game. They lost 101-93, so I'm sure there's people complaining about how, she didn't take enough shots at the end of the game or didn't down the stretch.
24 points also.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
She scored 24, right?
It wasn't their offense. It was their turnovers and defense that led to the loss, yeah.
Yeah, well, turnovers have been an issue, not only for Caitlin Clark, but for them as a team. 17 in that ball game last night for the Indiana Fever. They lost to the Dallas Wings. And I guess, the Fever didn't start this season very well. Would they lose like 7 of their first 9? They were 2-9 and maybe at one point 9 of their first 11. But they've obviously played tremendous basketball since then. Going into that game last night, they were 11-14. They'd fought their way back to 3 games under 500. But even though they were on the road, I think that, can we categorize that as a bad loss to a 5-19 Dallas team?
Yeah, it's the worst record team in the WNBA they lost to. So
yeah,
it has to be a bad loss.
That's
sure.
a bad loss, unfortunately. Again, we heard Diana Taurasi say the other night, it's a tough league. It's a tough league. But
it's like this, though. Aaliyah Boston was the number 2 pick, was it, 2 years ago? And obviously, Caitlin Clark sweepstakes this year. The bottom line, DK, is Indiana is not a good team.
Right.
Like, we're talking about a team that was been the worst team in the WNBA for the last few years. So to think that you don't get the number 1 overall pick in any draft and then turn that right around. Back to your point about them taking advantage of the off days for baseball, I think in a perfect world, that will be the case every year.
Yeah.
However, 10 days from now, on the 29th, 11 days from now, is the first game of the Olympics.
Yeah.
They got to first, number 1, do 3 warm-up games, and then they got to get to Tokyo and do that whole Paris, and get that whole, time. They're doing their Tokyo on the brain because they're doing some prelims. Yeah. They have to get prepped. So this is both the WNBA All-Star break and also a split off by the women who are going to be involved in the U.S. Olympic team. And obviously Saturday's game will be the U.S. Olympic team versus WNBA All-Stars. But I think they would love to, DK, have had a full slate of games last night and tonight to take advantage of this void in sports right now in this time of year. Olympics makes that a little tricky.
So you're not, you think that's going to hurt them? The women's team not really having, the men the men are playing, 5 games?
Something like that, yeah.
In a lead up. They played the 1 game here. They played the 2 games in Abu Dhabi, and they still have 2 more games coming up in London.
The schedule for the women is they have the WNBA All-Star team versus the Olympic team on Saturday the 20th.
Right.
And then the 23rd, they play Germany in London. So they're switching right around. That is going to be in Phoenix. The All-Star game is going to All-Star versus Olympic team will be in Phoenix on Saturday. They got to turn that around and go to London to play a pre-Olympic game versus Germany. And that's their only pre-Olympic warm-up game. But the idea is this. How many NBA players that are playing for this current men's team for the United States didn't make the playoffs or lost in the first round of the NBA playoffs, which was 4 months ago, right? So the women have the advantage of being right in the middle of their season. So they got their game legs on. They don't necessarily need. And the familiarity, I think it's a lot of the same names you're going to see on the Olympic team. I think the men, it's more like getting back into game shape, getting off those yachts in the Bahamas and getting into a gym and getting back into game shape after the season ended.
So Caitlin Clark last night, 10 of 19 from the floor. Didn't shoot the 3 very well, 2 of 9. But again, 24 points and a WNBA record 19 assists in a 101-93 loss. We'll hear more on that coming up a little bit later in the show. Also, NBA Summer League continues as the men's national team gets ready for the Olympics. The youngsters are in Las Vegas. Bronny finally got his game together last night and scored 12 points. He had a couple of 3-pointers. Lakers got a win. We're also going to hear today from Pelle Larsson and Keshad Johnson. Both of those young men spoke after their game. They won again, I believe, so they're 3-0 now. Yeah, they're looking pretty good.
I mean, once
over
I
there
heard
in Las
that
Vegas.
Jaime Jaquez Jr. was going to be playing for the Heat's summer team after he got
That's not fair.
after he helped prepare the U.S. men's team. He was on that select team to help the U.S. men in Vegas, and then just decided, well, I'm here. I might as well jump on the Miami because he's a second-year player. Most second-year players will play Summer League. Benedict Mathurin did. But Jaime Jaquez Jr. was the number 2, I believe, in voting last year for Rookie of the Year. Everybody knows what he can do, but he's a baller. He just wants to get out there and get some reps up.
So Jaime Jaquez and his guys will look to take home the crown. You talk about, that NBA select team, and we kind of touched on that a little bit last week when they had the scrimmage over in Las Vegas, and we were over there prior to the game against the Canadians, and it was a pretty nice group of young players. I mean, you're talking about obviously Peyton Pritchard, who we had a chance to see a lot of in the playoffs. Brandon Pajemski, who seems to be maybe one of the pieces that could be in that deal.
They love him so much, though, is a thing.
So they don't think you don't think that they would part with him to get Lowry marketed?
I've never heard a negative thing said about him. I think all I've ever heard is that he plays the game the right way. His pace is correct. He makes the right reads. Like, I've never heard a negative thing about him. The ultimate consummate team player. And when you're playing with Steph Curry, DK, and not only that, but he played at Santa Clara, right?
Yeah.
In college, it's not too far away. So he's pretty used to that area. Not to say that he won't move someday, but I think they see him in the Warriors front office as more of a piece to continue as opposed to a straight, let's just trade Steph, trade Draymond, and rebuild completely from scratch. I think they're trying to claw and hang on to some kind of ability to contend here in the near future.
Well, there was a trade, or there is about to be a trade in the National Basketball Association. Russell Westbrook is on the move, and a deal that
twice
will likely eventually end up with him playing in Denver for the Nuggets.
He got traded today officially to Utah, which had been in the works for some time, and that was with the intention that he would eventually. I've heard Nikola Jokic loves him. Loves him, DK. Like, loves and would love nothing more than to play with Russell Westbrook, which seems a little odd to me, number one, because if anybody's been paying attention, Nikola Jokic's last 4 seasons in the NBA, DK, have been the most efficient seasons in the history of the NBA. So you talk about an efficient offensive player, and when I think of efficient offensive players, Russell Westbrook is not the person that comes to mind. So it'll be a curious combination. And obviously this is 36-year-old, 37. He doesn't quite have the burst and legs he once did. But hey, if Nikola Jokic wants him there, then I'm sure they can find a role for him there with Denver.
So the Clippers will get Chris Dunn from the Jazz, a second-round draft pick, swapping cash, according to Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN. The Russell Westbrook obviously will kind of help fill that void left by the departures of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Reggie Jackson, who both left in free agency.
There is an actual undertone here. Like that's not the real story. The real story, DK, is that every general manager in the entire NBA is shaking their boots right now about what was passed 2 years ago, the collective bargaining agreement, which has 2 aprons. And if you pass the second apron, you're okay. If you pass the second apron 2 years in a row, watch out. If you pass the second apron over the salary cap, the second apron over it 3 years in a row, you lose draft picks, you lose the ability to sign free agents. And so last year was a grace period. Last year did not count. Everything moving forward does count. So the Clippers, remember last year where they had they traded for 4 Hall of Famers? I mean, those are all max contract guys. So they already let Paul George go, right? And so Harden, you've only got so much room with Harden, Kawhi, George, and Westbrook. Now, that's also the richest owner in all of professional sports, Ballmer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's not as if they don't have the money to pay. You saw Lacob and those guys do that up in Golden State for the last 5-10 years. But this new collective bargaining agreement makes it so they're trying to have a competitive balance across the league, and doing so by making it so that you don't spend an exorbitant amount over the salary cap just to win games in the next few years. And they're trying to avoid those teams that sign, all the best free agents. They don't want a situation like 99 Yankees.
Yeah. 520-848-1290 again is the number to get in on the program. We're going to talk some soccer today. FC Tucson is preparing for the postseason. The regional round will be held here this weekend in Southern Arizona. 2 matches, semifinals on Friday night, and then a championship in the regional final on Sunday out of Keno North Stadium. Nils Roth, who played his junior college soccer here in Tucson at Pima, will join us. He had one heck of a performance in getting the guys to the postseason with a 1-1 draw on Sunday against Coachella FC. We will talk to Nils Roth today. Also, we're going to hear from Trey Townsend, the first of the newbies on Tommy Lloyd's roster, spoke to the media today over at McHale Center. We'll let you hear what he had to say, coming over from Oakland University in Michigan, where he was the Horizon League Player of the Year and helped that team get to the NCAA tournament and upset Kentucky in the first round. So we'll hear from Trey Townsend about making his way here to Tucson and what he hopes he can add to this program this particular season. All of that and a whole lot more coming up for you on the show today. Again, it's DK on the Sports Tip. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. Right now, though, Cricket is getting you home, as she always does, every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported Orange Grove and First Avenue, a hit-and-run wreck at First Avenue and Orange Grove, Grant and Wilmot and Grant Road a collision, and earlier wreck that occurred Miracle Mile and Oracle. That was a 4-car crash. A 15% chance of rain today into tonight, 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Every business faces challenges, but shipping shouldn't be one of them. Turn shipping to your advantage with USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
1290 is the one place you can always count on for Arizona Wildcat sports.
Oh, man, praise the Lord. Thank you.
You will never miss the game if you have your radio locked on 1290.
Such a good feeling to be a Wildcat.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really, really?
Really? Free.
That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really, really.
You just need to know, if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
With
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any money.
What? What?
What? I just said with Alaskan
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah, it's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's...
I'm Captain Tobacco from Tobacco Barn.
My tobacco hero.
I'm here to wipe out high prices on tobacco products. I'm also here to inform citizens that you could save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products. Pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Uh-oh, I see high prices. Excuse me.
Save up to 40% off all your tobacco products at Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn is on the Indian Reservation, so you're not paying state tax or any city sales tax. Plus, you can get a coupon for an additional $3 off at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Take it from Captain Tobacco. Save up to 40%. Save with no city or state sales tax. And save with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Well, time for me to fly.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Yeah, Goodfellas AC.
Hi, can I get a second opinion from you guys on something?
Of course. It's what we're here for.
So, my wife's brother claimed he'd done some AC repair before.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and now there's kind of a rope and pulley situation that opens the freezer door and a fan inside turns on to cool off the house.
Huh, very creative.
Really?
No, not at all. Next time, call us first, yeah?
Yeah.
Call Goodfellas AC for free estimates and second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Seems like all anybody can talk about around the NFL this week is Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers and whether or not there might be a trade reuniting them. Even though that's extremely, extremely unlikely. Adam Schefter even went so far as to call it, quote, unfounded, baseless speculation, end of quote. So why is there a conversation? Well, because these two dudes keep talking about each other. And Devontae says that more than anything else, it's a media creation, but I don't think there's any doubting how unhappy he was in Vegas last year. We all know that. We all saw that. We didn't know how unhappy he was last year, but now we do, thanks to the latest episode of Receiver on Netflix. I don't know, Devontae. I need to get the bleep out of here before I lose my bleeping life. That sounds pretty urgent. That does not sound like a media creation.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We'll have a question of the day coming up for you a little bit later in the show. Right now, though, we want to talk some FC Tucson soccer. The boys in black are going to be home for the postseason. The regional round coming up this weekend out at Keno North Stadium, and the guys got it done on Sunday night. They needed to either win or draw in their game Sunday against Coachella FC, and they got the draw 1-1 to qualify for the postseason, and the man in the net that night was none other than Pima College grad Nils Roth, and he joins us now. And Nils, congratulations, first of all, on you guys making it back to the postseason. Now, you had a bunch of saves in that game. I think you had like 7 saves, which, you know, soccer's kind of interesting in that the goaltenders don't always necessarily get a whole lot of action. back there. Is 7 saves, is that a lot for you? And what's the most amount of saves you've ever had in a game?
That is a great question to start off. It was definitely a busy night for me. We had first Lightning delay, so we watched first the Copa America final, and then once we finally got out there, we started decent in the game, but then had a little tough patch where I had coming up big with several saves, and then luckily we started to settle in the second half a little better. I think one of the most saves I got was in my last college season. I think I had 12 in that game, but 7 is definitely up there in one of the busier games.
All right, so when you have a game like that, when you've got to save 12 shots or 7 shots, we see the keepers get a lot. They get crazy out there. We see them yelling at their guys. Is that a bad defensive night when you got to stop 12 shots, or is that just a night when the other team maybe just has more control at the offensive end, and we just have to play a lot more defense than maybe normal?
I would say it's a little bit of both. On one hand, you obviously prepare for the opponent, and there's certain occasions where they change something up. So that was the case that night. We didn't expect them a little bit that way. On the other hand, as I said, there was special circumstance with weather and everything. So I don't think we couldn't go through the normal warm up, and I think that affected us as well. So in the end, no matter if I get no shots on goal or 10 or 12, I just have to be ready for every shot, and that's how I prepare myself. I don't really think about how many saves I got in the game, to be honest. I'm just being in the moment and try to help the team.
And I mentioned at the top, Nils, that you guys had to either win or draw to advance. You're down 1-0 at the break in that ball game, so you're kind of 10 minutes in before you get that equalizer. What did you kind of like about the way the guys kind of fought through, knowing that, hey, we're down to maybe our last 30, 40 minutes, but we got to get this done here?
Yes, that was definitely the case. We knew we were not up to task in the first half, and we knew for all the hard work we put in over the summer, for the fans who were sticking out still and waited, the weather delay out, we had to perform, and we started, step by step, getting our grind, and we got back into the game and started to get a little bit better in the flow. And DeAndre Pickett, another Pima stand-up player, got us back in the game, and in the end we got the job done. So I'm buzzing about that, and we're excited about the playoff.
We're pleased to be joined by Nils Roth. He is the goalkeeper for FC Tucson. And Nils, I understand you're a pretty busy man. Not only are you playing for FC Tucson, I understand you're coaching one of the youth teams. And are you also coaching over at Pima as well?
Yes, that's correct. I'm the goalkeeper coach at Pima. Pima is the reason why I came out here. Back in 2018, I had 2 wonderful years there, winning a national championship there. So I want to give back to the Pima community. And then I'm also working, as you said, both as a coach in the youth academy. I have 2 teams there, the 2011 and 2014 team. And I'm also on the staff currently for the academy. So the FC Tucson means a lot. It became my second home since I found my wife, and we have now 2 young kids here. So I'm delighted to be involved in the Tucson community for sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you just had your second kid recently, within the last month?
Yes, correct. She's 3 weeks old now, and she was out at the game as well, so it meant a lot to me. My wife is amazing. She gets my back free, and so I can focus on performing, and it means everything when I look up in the stands and see them cheering me on.
So I want to go back to, obviously you mentioned you played the 2 years at Pima, won a national championship there with Dave Cosgrove. So who was your goalkeeper coach there when you were a player, and how maybe did that Cosgrove's teaching and that person help you formulate your coaching philosophy now that you're spreading your knowledge to the kids you're working with on the junior college level?
That was definitely the case. Yeah, that was Alex Rangel. He's a tremendous goalkeeper coach. I think he also played for FC Tucson and at Pima before as well. He's now in Florida coaching, and he was at Grand Canyon as well. So he's a very experienced goalkeeper coach, and I definitely learned a lot from him. And he is still a great friend of mine, and we're still in contact. And yeah, I definitely still look up to him and try to, fill in his big footsteps.
All right. So what's your philosophy as a coach? What are you teaching kids right now at both the JC and at the academy level?
Well, at the academy level, it's a little bit different than in college. So at academy, you're going to make sure you get the basics, teaching the handling, the distribution, just that they, are set for progressing once they're getting in a really competitive age. Then it turns a little bit. Then it's more about, getting them ready for competition, depending on what the opponent is liking. If they like to go in behind a lot, we're doing more 1v1 situations. If they like to go around us and crossing, we practice crossing, and so there it's more game situation and decision making. Well, for in the youth academy, it's really about keeping the fun of it and learning the basics.
We're chatting with Nils Roth, goalkeeper for FC Tucson, also doing some coaching over at Pima College with Dave Cosgrove, as well as with the FC Tucson Academy. So what are the age of the kids that you're dealing with over at the academy?
Oh, it's a big range. It means from 7-8-year-old up the way to the high school age.
Oh, so you're dealing with all the kids. You're goalkeeping coach with all the kids.
Yes, correct. But I do have two specific teams where I have the 2011-14 kids, but there I'm more a head coach and not specifically just a goalkeeper coach. That's correct.
How is youth soccer different now than maybe when you played? What are you seeing about maybe some of the differences with the kids and the way they approach the game versus maybe when you were that age?
I can definitely tell that nowadays the kids liking more to tune in to soccer. So there is just a big summer right now with the Copa America just ended the Euro. So you can tell that the youngsters are tuning in and learning something, come up and ask more questions about, why they did that or how they can adapt that. And so that's great. You can tell with the World Cup coming up as well in 2026 here that there is definitely growing interest in soccer, and it's beautiful to be in that environment right now.
Nils Roth joining us, goalkeeper for FC Tucson and coach at FC Tucson, coach with the FC Tucson Academy and Pima College. When you talk about now working with Dave Cosgrove after having played with him, when you were talking with him about potentially coming on into this role, what did he want to know? What did he say to you about what he was looking for? And what did you say to him about how you felt you could help him in that role?
So as I said, 2018 is when we first met, and after that standout season and being able to captain the team the next year, that was the start of our growing relationship. And then he helped me going to a Division I school, which always was my goal, and we stayed in contact during my whole college career. And then I knew I wanted to come back here, because of my wife is from here, but also because of Pima. I had such great experience, and he trusts me a lot in my knowledge from back home in Europe and what I've learned here during the college career in America. So he reached out to me and wanted me to help first in the spring and off season, which I gladly wanted to be a part of. And he trusted me, gave me a lot of important tasks to complete, such as scouting. That's something I really like as a goalkeeper. You want to be prepared of, what's coming ahead of you. And as a coach, I can deliver that as well and give my players the best information to be as prepared as possible for the game then.
Now, I know that, Alex Svetnov was starting a lot of the games as well this season. Who's going to get the nod? Do you know who's going to get the nod this weekend in that quarterfinal game or semifinal game?
So Alex, he's from Louisville, which is a big ACC university. So they called him back because the season is about to start in August. So he's actually, unfortunately, not anymore with us in town. But we do miss him, and we had a great job with him having us on the team, and I know that he's cheering us on and wishes us all the best for the upcoming game.
All right, so how do you keep your nerves in the right place now that we're getting into these games that really matter?
There is positive nerves and negative ones. The positive one is the excitement. It's, having to host is beautiful. You have the 12th man behind you, and we know Kino, we know the complex, we know the weather here. So that should be an advantage for us against a really good Colorado team that's coming in. And, you train the whole week to be ready for when it's game time. So, as I said, I prepare myself with video, with going to the stats, keeping my body healthy and all that stuff. So in the end, I know I did everything possible before the game, and then you just got to be in the moment and, help your team to come up big.
We had a chance to talk to the captain, Devon Canchila, earlier this week. Tell me a little bit about him and how he's led you guys. You guys have been together, you and him, now for 2 years on the squad.
Yeah, Devon is great. He's very experienced as well. He had a great college career. He's now coaching as well in Texas, so we're definitely one of the more experienced one. And, he always kept us together. We had a little bit up and down season. We weren't as consistent as we wanted to be, but every time when it matters most, we got the result, and that's why we deserve to be in the playoffs and hosting. And now we still expect a lot from us because we from the beginning of the season in May, we worked on to being at that point where we are right now, and everything that comes next is joy, and hopefully we make it all the way to the national final, and that's the ultimate goal.
All right, Nils. Well, best of luck this weekend. Semifinal game on Friday night. FC Tucson wins. They'll play in the regional final on Sunday at Keno North Stadium. We look forward to seeing you out on the pitch as well this fall when the Pima season comes around, and that outfit looks to make another run to the national tournament.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. I hope to see you all out there. Thank you.
Nils Roth, FC Tucson goalkeeper. He'll start this weekend. Also a coach at the academy. And that new news tonight, I did not know he was coaching now with Dave Cosgrove as his goalkeepers coach over at Pima College. So, again, another young man who's come through Southern Arizona, played his way through up JC and into the college level, and now back in this community, giving back to the youngsters coming up behind him. Good stuff there. Make sure you get on out to Keno North Stadium this weekend. 2 semifinal games. The first game will be at 5:30 this Friday night, and then FC Tucson will play in the second game of the evening, and that'll be at 7:30. We'll give you more information on that as we go along today here in the program. Cricket, though, right now is getting you home, as she always does, every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. I-10 and Grant Road collision, westbound I-10 at the Grant Road exit. Orange Grove and First Avenue was a hit and run. Also clearing Grant and Wilmot. Miracle Mile and Oracle was an earlier 4-car collision. There's a 15% chance of showers and 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in Southern Arizona.
Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too.
The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. One quick thought about Aaron Rodgers. How about that story of him returning from that trip to Egypt and walking into Bob Saleh's office like, "What are you doing, Bob? How are you calling my absence unexcused?" I'm Jim Rome.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool's been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on this program. 520-848-1290. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We appreciate our guy Nils Roth for joining us on the show. Again, FC Tucson this weekend at Keynote North Stadium. It is the postseason. This is what you play for, a chance to move on in this USL 2 tournament. There was some, again, this is the level that FC Tucson absolutely dominated back when they were in this developmental league the last time around. Well, dominated, I'll say, from a division championship standpoint. But they would always kind of get, I think there was 4 times they got to the regional final and lost all 4 times. So they could not get past that regional final round. I think 5 times they went. 1 time they lost in the semifinals. 4 times they lost in the finals. So that's going to be the question, is can they get past this weekend? Ventura County Fusion is going to be staring them in the face. There's a cup. That's the only team they play regularly. The other 2 teams they don't necessarily play. So you're looking at a potential rematch between FC Tucson and Ventura County in that final. It came out a draw and a win for FC Tucson in that matchup this year. So you got to figure maybe they've got the advantage, but you just never know when you get to this point of the season. So it's going to be an exciting weekend out at Keno North Stadium. I wish I was going to be around to get a chance to see that, but we're heading out on our vacation this weekend. And again, no shows next week here, but still plenty of time for you to get your tickets and get out to see that soccer this weekend, because it is really, really going to be a fun 3 days out at Keno North Stadium, and hopefully it's 2 days that includes the home team this weekend. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Again, 2 games, 5 p.m. on Friday will be the first semifinal between the Fusion from Ventura County and the Albion, Colorado is what they are known as. And then FC Tucson will play Flatirons Rush in the nightcap on Friday. I have no idea where Flatirons Rush FC is from. Let's see if we can find that out here real quick. They are from Arvada, Colorado. So both of these teams coming out of Colorado and the Mountain Division of USL League 2. So it looks like you've got the Mountain 1 and 2 against the Desert 1 and 2 is probably how this whole thing is playing out. So get on out there Friday for this semifinal round, and then the finals on Sunday. All right. Want to quickly mention the ladies from FC Tucson before we move on, because their season came to an end while we were on vacation the week before. But shout out to the ladies who finished their year. They unfortunately did not make the postseason, did the FC Tucson women, but a solid first year with Roberto Garcia at the helm. They've gone through a lot of transition this year, have the ladies. They have played, they've had 3 coaches now in 3 years. Hopefully Roberto's the guy that's going to nail that whole situation down over there and be the coach long term, after obviously Kelly Pierce had been in that role for a number of years and had a lot of success on the women's side. So, but a shout out to them as they finished 5-3-2 this season, second place in the Desert Conference. Did the ladies, finishing second behind SC Del Sol, who is their new rival in that UPSL. So looking for good things with Roberto Garcia leading the FC Tucson women moving forward into next season. All right, again, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program today. We've got a lot to give away. We've got some giveaways today, so stay tuned, because in the next 2+ hours, I've got a sweet deal to tell you about. I've got Summer Safari. Cricket's got tickets. Cricket's got tickets to Summer Safari coming up. We'll say that'll be in the 5 o'clock hour Also, I'm going to tell you a little bit about a giveaway we've got going on over on our website for you to win the cookout of the summer. And there's really only one official cookout day left of the summer, and that's Labor Day. But heck, if you win a cookout, then you can choose whatever day you want to have a cookout.
Considering,
how about that?
The percentage of Tucsonans who are retired, DK, I think this time of year is barbecue for a lot of people every day.
Oh, yeah. Indeed it is. Coming up the 4 o'clock hour, we'll hear from Trey Townsend, one of the newest acquisitions for Arizona men's basketball. He comes over from Oakland, Michigan as a transfer, a grad transfer. We'll hear from him and how he's kind of settling in here to the Tucson community. NBA Summer League, though. Bronny finally got his game together on Wednesday in Las Vegas. Let's hear a little bit of what Bronny James did.
Every time number 9 touches the ball, there is a buzz in this arena. What a start for Bronny. Rips the cords from the mid-range.
Great start for Bronny James, and you can see by design the original play, the first play of the game, to give Bronny a look. He takes advantage of it, going off the bounce. Great footwork. And the pull up in the mid.
Here's Lewis, 40th pick in last year's draft. Here's Bronny, isolated against Gay. Finger roll, rolls in.
To attack the basket, Bronny James not settling, getting to the rim, showing off that athleticism.
As well as a television audience.
Bronny knocks down the 3, his first as a Laker. Got a chance at another. He drains it.
There you go. Once again, but did you see how confident he was when he shot it? Look at the no hesitation. As soon as Bronny catches this, he knows he's shooting.
The finger roll, DK, was very impressive.
Bronny James, 87-86 was the final. Lakers beat the Hawks. The Hawks are 0-3 in this Summer League thing. The Lakers get their first win. Bronny James, 24 minutes, 5 of 11 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3, 12 points. Only 1 rebound, no assists, 1 steal for Bronny James. Afterward, though, just happy to get the win.
Bronny, it seemed like Atlanta had control for most of the second half. What allowed you guys to come back and get your first win here at Summer League?
Just being solid on the defense end. We try to come out and, get a good shot every time down. We focus on that, and it's a good outcome, So.
Seemed like your best game this summer. How did you assess the way that you played?
Just trying to forget about all the shots I missed, forget about all the games we lost. Just come out, play my game and try to do my best every time I come on the court. So that's what I did tonight, and it ended up well.
How'd it feel to see that 3 go down?
Really good. Felt really good. Yeah.
Many more. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so Bronny, and I think they play the Cavaliers tonight at 6 o'clock. That'll be a nationally televised game on ESPN. So if anything, it's great to have that type of star power in the Summer League, and it gives ESPN something to focus in their main block there. The Suns won as well last night. They got their first win after losing 2 games, 100-99. David Roddy again is, trying to maybe catch on as a reserve player. He led the team in scoring in the second game and led the team again with 21 points in this game, 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists for the veteran David Roddy. Ryan Dunn, 5 points, hit 2 of 6 from the floor, and also Iguodaro had also 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting. He had 8 rebounds and 3 assists in the contest. So that's where things sit for your Phoenix Suns.
When your owner comes out publicly and says draft picks are for trade. Okay, I don't think Summer League is going to be your best showing. No. I think, not to say that, the Suns got a really good defensive player in Dunn. I don't think his offensive stats are going to jump off the page right out of the gate. He's got some work to do on that. But yeah, I think that team is veteran loaded. So Summer League teams, for teams like that don't have a lot of draft picks, tend to look like that.
All right, let's give you our question of the day since we've got that up and running right now. And it goes back to something that we were talking about in Las Vegas last week, J-Dub, and that is we'll go back to a question of the day we had in Las Vegas, and that was if we believe that there's going to be expansion in the Big 12 before we get to kickoff at the end of next month. Will this conference grow past the 16 teams that it currently stands at. The large belief that is, if it does, the two potential teams that we could be looking at are the Florida State Seminoles and the Clemson Tigers. So the question of the day is, do you want to see the Florida State Seminoles and the Clemson Tigers in the Big 12? Because let me tell you something, that is not good for Arizona.
Well, we talked a lot about how any team could win next year on the football side.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about bringing in FSU and Clemson, you're talking about bringing in two of the top 15 names in the sport. So what Arizona's going into this year in the Big 12 is a vacuum, right? Because you're talking about Texas and Oklahoma leaving. Oklahoma State, don't get me wrong, long tradition. There's some schools in this conference that have football tradition, but there aren't those schools that you see on the schedule that you're really scared of.
Exactly.
The athletes that they tend to get down in Seminole Land and Clemson recently, those are two scary programs for sure.
Yeah, now Clemson has taken maybe a half step back from where they were, but still, that's a team that's very capable of reloading and being in the national championship conversation. So, I like this. I like this setup for the Big 12 for Arizona just because of what J-Dub just said right there. It's very, very diverse. There's a lot of parity on the football side of it. You've got, we talked last week, you've got 8 teams potentially who could have a shot to win the Big 12 football championship. I like that. Bring in Florida State and Clemson, and to me, you're right back where you were in the Pac-12, where you're staring up the likes of Oregon and USC and Washington, and you've got less than a sliver's chance of winning a football championship. So for me, I don't want to see those two teams. And that's not ducking, running away from great football teams. I just want to see an opportunity for Arizona to be on a very level playing field, which I believe is what they have right now in the Big 12 as it is currently constructed. Florida State, I mean, we've got no history with them, so it's not like you're offering me a team that we have history with or something, or that there's something down the annals of old that we can pinpoint and say, yeah, that will make for a great rivalry. Florida State, we've got nothing with them. Clemson, we've got nothing with them. So why would you want? And again, it just now we're really starting to grow this thing. You're creating a bigger head on the monster than you already have. Let's not make the monster any bigger than it needs to be. And so I don't personally want to see Florida State and Clemson, but right now, J-Dub, 100%.
Yeah.
100% of the voters saying, yes, bring them on.
I agree with everything you said. And counterpoint, South Carolina every single year has some of the best track athletes in the country, along with Florida. So if the idea of getting into Texas, if you're a kid who doesn't get recruited by one of those schools, but you want your grandma to come see you play, that whole thing. You mentioned Oregon, those Southern California schools in the pack. I mean, Arizona, the U of A has always recruited Southern California. So you're always going up against UCLA, USC every single year on the recruiting trail. If you have any interest of getting into Florida or even South Carolina for some of those athletes, and the other side of that coin is Arizona's looking at Texas. They're always going to look at Southern California. That's never going to go away. I don't think, now I'm not in those rooms, but I don't think this particular coaching staff is looking to South Carolina for their athletes, but who knows? But definitely two big names. I agree, though. I think if Arizona wants to make a name for themselves along with the Utes as two power programs in football joining this conference and, drawing out, saying, hey, guess what? We're here. We're not going anywhere. You're going to have to deal with us every single year. That's what we'd all like to see as fans. Better to do that going into a league where maybe 7-8 teams can win than a top-heavy league like they just came out of.
520-848-1290. It is DK on the Sports Tip. His name is J.W. Madden. Cricket is also here with us. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Palo Verde and Irvington was an earlier crash. Still some heavy travel restrictions. Please avoid Irvington and Palo Verde. New collisions reported 22nd and Houghton and 22nd Street, and also Ina and Old Father. Some slowdowns on westbound Ina approaching Shannon. 15% chance of rain, 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Welcome to the ultimate playground for online social casino enthusiasts. Get ready to live the Chumba life and play over 100 online casino-style games for free at ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, will arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really, really?
Really? Free.
That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really, really.
You just need to know if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
With
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any money.
What? What?
What? I just said with Alaskan
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the only sports station that brings you the Tommy Lloyd Radio Show, live coverage of his press conferences, and men's basketball play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 of the show on this Thursday, July the 18th. Thanks for being with us. If you want to talk on the program, you can do so. 520-848-1290 is the number. 520-848-1290. More death today. Well, people die every day, I guess, so maybe not a surprise. Lou Dobbs passed away today. Longtime conservative pundit and cable TV host on CNN and Fox Business passed away today at 78 years old. Bob Newhart has died, which is very interesting because I may have mentioned that my wife has fallen into the Big Bang Theory trap, and that's her new show. She's watching that show now, and there was an episode that we just watched last week in Las Vegas that featured Bob Newhart as this scientist that all the guys on the show had watched growing up as kids. And it was hilarious. Just a really funny. And you start thinking about it, it's like, man, is Bob Newhart, is he still living? You know, I mean, wasn't even sure at the time. Then looked it up and saw that he was. And unfortunately, he has passed away today. But I remember watching the Bob Newhart show growing up. I don't remember much about it. I always remember, it's funny, the thing that I remember most about the Bob Newhart show was it seemed to revolve around this elevator. Like they were always in this hallway and there was an elevator there. And that is the one thing. It was funny. I remember laughing and it was a funny show, but I always remember just like, it seemed like they were always getting on and off this elevator.
Yeah.
In that particular show.
I know the show ended when I was about 3 is when it went off the air. So my experience with Bob Newhart growing up was that he was always so gracious. You mentioned, him appearing in the show that you and your wife were watching. He appeared in a lot of shows, DK. I mean, that was kind of his thing. And always that same delivery, always really deadpan and really, really hilarious. I agree. I don't know much about the Bob Newhart show. I know he was like a psychiatrist, something like that. So that was the premise, Frasier-ish, whatever. But yeah, I mean, certainly one of the greats, one of the comedic greats. His style and demeanor. So many people are so try hard, are just like, putting themselves, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that Jim Carrey's not great, DK, but there's certainly a moments for that style of humor versus Bob Newhart's style of humor, which was much more understated and and intelligent. I really liked the Bob Newhart's delivery always.
Yeah, Bob Newhart dead today at the age of 94. If you have a Bob Newhart memory that you'd like to share, we'd like to hear it. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us or text us. We've been talking NBA Summer League. We mentioned Bronny in the last half hour, but the Miami Heat also played yesterday, and they won again, 92-79 over the Dallas Mavericks. Keshad Johnson and Pelle Larsson both started for the Heat in this ball game, and Pelle played 30 minutes. Didn't shoot the ball necessarily well, 4 of 12, 1 of 5 from 3, but finished with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, had a blocked shot, only turned it over one time. Keshad 3 of 5, hit a 3, 1 of 2 from behind the arc, 9 points and 1 steal to go along with 2 rebounds for Keshad Johnson in that ball game. They both spoke afterward. Let's hear from Pelle Larsson, who talked about having to, the first few steps in this NBA journey and getting comfortable with the style of play.
Getting back into it. It seemed today you were sort of more on your game, finding your spots, finding your shots. Do you find yourself, as Summer League goes on, you're regaining or gaining a rhythm?
I mean, you just got to play and learn from your game, so I think I've done that. Teammates found me a lot today, like open throw ahead, so I got a good shots off of that. But it's just more and more games to get used to it.
I was going to ask you that. There seems to be a really nice chemistry with the young players. Usually young players, it takes a while. I know you've been at this for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But do you sense that all these young guys are really coming together as a team?
I think just the way we play, like defensively, brings a lot of energy. So just how we play automatically, like just gives us that energy, and then that bonds us, I think. So it's a combination of how we play and just how good of a guys they are, you know.
Your comfort zone in the NBA style, do you find yourself getting more into it the more you see, the more you go through it, and the differences from the college game?
Absolutely. Just more reps you're going to learn, and I'm just excited for next game.
All right, so that was Pelle Larsson after his ball game yesterday. Let's hear from Keshad Johnson, who's been battling a little bit of an ankle injury and talked about the mentality of fighting through that and the aggressiveness that we've seen him towards the basket in these first few games in Las Vegas.
Let us know, how's the ankle doing? What happened on the play?
Ankle good. Still got adrenaline going right now. Just a little sprain, you know. Just a little sprain. It happens with the game of basketball and everything. Take it day by day, get as much treatment as possible, get ready.
You're the kind of player who plays with such a relentless style. How do you balance that against not getting injured?
You don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. When you go out there and roll the ball out, you just try to hoop, do whatever it takes to win. You don't worry about reserving your body or anything like that. I'm as gritty as it gets, so I don't really worry about it.
The one thing we've learned about your game over these 2 weeks is you can't look at a box score and fully appreciate it. So are you the kind of guy who almost doesn't look at box scores and numbers are secondary because it's all the other plays? In other words, sort of how do you look at stats? How do you view it?
You know, stats are what they are. You know, numbers don't lie, but they also don't tell the full story, you know. So everybody around that knows basketball, they know the effect that I bring to the game, you know, when I'm in the game and everything. So I don't worry about stats at all. You know, I don't go out there and just tell myself I'm going to do this, do that. I just try to do whatever it takes to win that given day.
You guys really have only been a team for 2 weeks. So many young guys, fresh out of college, but you've really come together as a team. What's it like for so many young guys to really coalesce into a team?
It's easy. I would say everybody on this roster currently, we are here for a reason, you know. Coach did a great job. It's just good human beings all around. We all fighting for the same goal, you know. We take this summer league thing very serious, you know, as if it's a college March Madness game. So, you know, we all fighting for our next step, you know, our next step in life, you know, with the game of basketball and everything. So we just try to help each other as we go. And you can see out there, I feel like I've been playing with these guys for I don't know how long.
All right, we'll see you in the Final Four then.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. I like that.
Keshad Johnson, who's on a two-way contract with the Miami Heat after their win last night to go to 3-0 in Las Vegas. So they're in the Final Four. Who else is in? Do we know who else is in?
They still have games. No, they still have games to play.
Okay.
I think it's 4 total, and then the top teams.
Top teams.
Yeah, go.
Okay.
We said it, when Pelle was drafted, and then shortly thereafter they picked up Keshad on that two-way contract, that Heat culture, that whole thing, you could say what you want. That came out of the time LeBron was there, really. It was really Haslam, if we want to be clear about it. Haslam's really the one who started all that. But DK, if you look at that roster now, you're talking about Jimmy Buckets. You're talking about Bam Adebayo. And you're talking about Coach Spoelstra. And if I had to really name what Heat culture is, it's accountability and effort. So if you're accountable for your actions, you're not calling your own number because you want to get on the highlight reel. They don't like that down there. If you're trying to, effectively be selfish, it's all about team and all about giving max effort. And if you do that, and guess what? Show me two guys, DK, who epitomize team basketball and max effort more than Pelle and Keshad Johnson have recently here on campus. So I have, it's a really tough. They've got a lot of players down there. It's a very deep roster. We'll see how it goes for the entire length of the season. I wouldn't be surprised to see Keshad maybe go up and down a little bit. But as far as what they bring to the table, as long as they both can continue to increase their ability to knock down open shots, that's going to be what you're asked to do when you've got two great offensive players. Bam Adebayo, people may not know, is one of the best defenders for his position, but he's become very accomplished. Made 3 threes in the game 2 days ago, DK. So Bam can score a little bit as well. So they're going to command a lot of defensive attention, those two, knock down open looks, and as they always do, Pelle and Keshad known for their defensive effort. So if they just keep doing what they're doing, listen to, come on, leadership of Coach Spoelstra. There's a lot of people in that locker room who have, Pat Riley's still there, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's some people down there who've got some wisdom to share. As long as Pelle and Keshad keep their ears open, they're going to be just fine.
5 teams are 3-0 at the Vegas Summer League. The Heat, the Grizzlies, the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Spurs. So one of those 2 teams will be left on the outside. once we get into the tournament phase of this weekend. Joining us now is the third member of our team. Her name is Cricket. Cricket's got tickets on this Thursday for something happening on Saturday night here in Tucson.
That's correct, sir.
What you got?
Summer Safari Nights at Reed Park Zoo every Saturday night through August. Back at Reed Park Zoo, each week features a keeper chats, animal encounters, artifact stations, giraffe feedings, carousel rides, crafts and games. There's a different theme each week. This week is caring for carnivores. Like lions, jaguars, African wild dogs, meerkats are so cute, otters, and vultures. And so every week brings something new. And right now you can score 2 tickets to experience Summer Safari Night. Caller 2-520-848-1290. Caller 2-520-848-1290. And good luck.
Summer Safari, 6 to 9 every Saturday night through the summer. Always a good time out there. Again, we'll take caller number 2. What do we got? We got.
These are just some jungle noises. Don't worry about that.
I felt like I was in Jurassic Park for a second.
This is some jungle noises. No worries.
Those little tiny dinosaurs that are ankle biters.
Yeah. Oh, look out. We don't want anything. I've already gotten bitten up by some mosquitoes today. We don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah, don't.
No. Are you a? I remember. I don't know if you remember last year. Dragon Ball's grandma sent me some like cream. It was like repellent cream, and I've been using that, and it's actually doing very well for me. It keeps me nice and clean from the mosquitoes and all that kind of thing. So it's very different than like the spray. Although today I was at my mom's, so I had to use the spray because I didn't have it with me. But try the cream.
Do you know what it is?
Do you get bit a lot? It's like I think it's off. It's just off in a cream form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
grandmas always know best.
Yeah,
That's the takeaway.
They do. And she because we were talking about it one day last week, and I said I wish I had like a lotion versus a spray that I could put on, and and 2 days later she had me some lotion, some bug repellent lotion that I could put on.
Everybody's taking care, man.
That's what it's all about. All right. So what's happening on Roger Road? Do we have? Is it open yet?
No.
Is there?
I didn't even bother today. I just decided I'd go down as Prince. So.
Well, I had to go to the east side first, so I just came a completely different direction. But just watch out because Roger Road is currently still not open.
No sign, though.
And there's no signs up there to tell you that it's not open. What else is happening out there, Cricket?
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. And by the way, it is Roger Road east and west of Stone Avenue. And it looks to me like today there might be an extra crane there. So maybe they're getting some stuff done.
One crane was not enough, Cricket.
Apparently it was not. But I think that they're going to be done with that work maybe by the end of tomorrow. Again, for Roger Road, east and west of Stone Avenue. Collisions that are reported at Irvington and Park Avenue, Swan and Broadway, and 22nd Street and Houghton is clearing. And weather-wise, 15% chance of rain and about 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Can't find the Wildcats on your TV? Don't worry. We always have your back when it comes to the big game.
Oh, my God. It is unbelievable.
You will never miss a game if you have your radio locked on 1290.
Such a good feeling to be a Wildcat.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Back to UberTube expert Eugene Snurkle and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, is it true you can't fix your car's air conditioning so you're moving to Alaska or the North Pole or something?
Sorry, Doug. I meant to tell you, but I just can't seem to crack the code on fixing my car's AC.
Sorry to interrupt, Eugene, but we all know how this needs to end with a trip to Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Hi, folks. Sean Furrier here with some sizzling summer specials. Besides the chilly prices on AC repair and big tire rebates, we've also got Duramax 5-year free replacement batteries on sale this month with a $25 installation credit. That means free installation for most cars and trucks.
Seems a bit extreme.
Yes, Doug, an extremely tough battery built for Arizona, and you can be extremely confident in the Duramax 5-year free replacement guarantee. So for award-winning service, call or stop by one of our 14 area locations or make an appointment online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really?
Really free.
That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot.
Really. You just need to know if your AC breaks down,
We'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
With
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any monies.
What?
What? I just said with Alaskan
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember.
It's a toe tapper.
Really
From AlaskanAC.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time to escape it all and make your shower feel as luxurious as a bubble bath. With new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash, the sweet scent of roses and cherries surrounds you, while the thick, creamy lather covers your skin in moisturizing layers of vitamin B3 complex. It'll turn your shower into a spa. The real world will still be out there, so indulge in here just a little while longer. Available in 5 luxurious scents at your local retailer and online.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Android users, you can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Omar East with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson, who played in just 6 games last season after suffering a shoulder injury, says he's feeling great physically and has been throwing daily. One of the guys he's been working out with is wide receiver Amari Cooper, who missed all the team's offseason workouts while seeking a new contract extension. Watson telling Cleveland.com, quote, "The connection's been awesome. Me and Amari, even with all the other guys, it's not like he's missed a beat." The Browns rookies report to training camp July 22nd, followed by the veterans July 23rd. Meanwhile, the Broncos and guard Quinn Miners agreed to a 4-year, $80 million extension, which includes $45 million in guarantees, according to NFL Network insiders Mike Garafolo and Ian Rappaport. Quinn, a 2021 third-round pick, was heading into the final season of his rookie deal. Denver's veterans report to training camp July 23rd. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready? Go.
Okay, doctor.
Operation.
No, the most amazing care.
They changed my life. Highlanders Hospital for Children! because people just like you, kids like me, can play in the game of life. Thank you! Go to loveshriners.org right away. Thank you!
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is our phone number to call or text into the program. This Friday, I've got a sweet deal for you from Wings Emas. Wings Emas. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. This sweet deal will go on sale Friday at 8:30 a.m. over at wildcatsradio1290.com. Wings Emas, locally owned and operated, located at 1145 West Prince Road, open 10:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. They are closed on Tuesdays. They've got a Monday deal for you. Buy one dozen, get one half off, get another dozen half off. Wednesday's deal yesterday, they had 12 wings for $12. Happy hour is Monday through Friday, so happy hour is 23 minutes in. If you're headed over to Wings Emas right now, Emas items include tostados parados, churro bites, family recipe salsa, and chips. Family recipe salsa. Is there anything better than family recipe salsa? Not that stuff we get out of the jar that I buy at the store, but the kind of salsa that somebody is making from scratch. Have you ever made salsa from scratch?
I've
not done. I don't think I've done that.
several varieties of salsa.
Yes. What's the key? What's the key there?
Garlic, cilantro, good onions.
Okay.
Good tomatoes is a key. It just depends on your style. It depends on what you like. Mango salsa can be really fun to make too if you like it a little sweeter.
All right. Well, if you've had the family recipe salsa at Wings Emas, I want to hear from you. 520-848-1290. Tell us how good it is. They've got 6 TVs showing your favorite sports. Customer favorites include bacon ranch fries with boneless wings on top, bacon cheese fries with jalapenos on top, hot lemon and chili tappin flavors as well on those wings. Wings Emas at 1145 West Prince Road. You can get a sweet deal there. It's a $50 gift certificate for just $25, and this goes on sale Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. The only place you can get that is Wildcats Radio 1290.com. Let's go to the phones and talk to our guy, Paul in Phoenix. Paul, you're on Wildcats Radio 1290, DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, David, good to hear you again.
Good to hear from you, Paul.
Yeah, I know it's been a while, and I apologize, but getting dialed back in a little bit. I believe it's 12 days till we go to camp. Is that correct?
12 days till we go to camp, July 30th.
So that brings memories of your number 12, good old Keith Smith, and
there you go.
I think even Tom Tunnicliffe, and didn't George Malaloulu wear number 12? I believe
he might have. Well, he may have worn number 12.
But I do have a couple questions for you, real quick. I'll be brief because I know you got other things going on here. Just for all the folks out there, not that the people in Tucson care, but my trips on the bus going back home and phone calls have kind of ended. The U of A's decided to cancel the Cat Cruiser coming from Phoenix.
What?
So they didn't put anything out, but I'm gonna say it out loud now so everybody in Phoenix, Tucson can hear. Now, granted, the ridership's been down. That's how it was explained to me, and okay. I get it. There's a cost involved with that, and I know that somebody at the U of A or some nice person in the past has been underwriting the difference between what they were collecting and what it was costing. I get it, totally get it. But there's still about probably 30 of us diehards up here in Phoenix who are kind of like, oh no. So, but hey, that's the sign of the times. Ridership's down. Unless we can pick up some momentum, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. So I'm putting it out there that maybe if you get a chance to talk to Desiree, say, Desiree, what's this? The Cat Cruiser's done? But anyway, that's one thing. But then the other thing, I'm thinking about you guys. What's the latest and greatest, if you can share, with the pregame, especially football and basketball, obviously, the pregame production of show? I mean, are you guys going to be involved in that? Or can you not say? Or
nothing's going to change there, Doug. Doug, sorry, Paul. Nothing's going to change there. The only thing, and most of what's changing, is really a lot of behind the scenes stuff in terms of how the games are produced overall. But in terms of the presentation, pre and post network, pre and post local. Nothing's changing in that respect as of the moment.
Okay, darn. I was really hoping I was trying to politic to get you guys to move your tents inside to the Lowell, it's inside the practice facility where it's air conditioned. That's where you guys belong. It's ridiculous. I'm serious.
I know they've got a pregame party there, and I wouldn't necessarily mind being in something that's a little bit more cooler. But there's also something fun about being out there in the midst of it all. With the fans on the mall. I mean, that's where all the action is, and we enjoy being where all the action is, even though sometimes it kills our live stream, our video stream, because there's too many people out there, and the video stream fries up a little bit. But there's no better place to be than right in the middle of the action.
That's right. Okay, well then, last but not least, you guys, I know you mentioned, I missed some of the part where we talked about Florida State and Clemson. I've been seeing all the nonsense on Facebook and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I'd like to assume that the Big 12 is going to survive in 5 years. It'll still be around, and the Big 10 and the SEC. Okay, don't we need a fourth big monster conference to kind of pull, like 20 teams each and have 80 teams in this new wink wink college football amateur sport football league, or do you need just 3? How do you do 3? You know what I mean?
The real question is, how do you get North Carolina State, and Duke, which are all 14 miles away from each other in a triangle, to leave the conference they created, right? I mean, because that's what you're talking about is the ACC. So, I think we've all talked about the potential future of the NCAA not being the governing body and all these power schools all forming their own giant thing. I think, honestly, who knows what's going to happen, Paul? I mean, right now, there's so much volatility. Teams are. I'm curious if the Big 12 will be the same in 5 years, like you just said. So,
right. Well, see, I guess that's because I still have this weird feeling that someday somebody's going to come along and the Big 10's going to say, okay, we're no longer the Big 10. We're just called the Big, and the SEC is called the SEC, and the Big 10 takes in 40 teams, and we're part of it. We're part of it, and we're out in a division called the Pacific Division. You guys heard of the Pacific before, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
just make it all one. Just make it all one big with different divisions.
Well, they were in the Western Athletic Conference, Western Pacific 10, right when they first joined. I mean, the conferences they've been in have been affiliated with the West Coast until now.
So it's just interesting. This whole thing, it's too bad, but. Obviously, I'm excited. I can't wait for camp. I think it's very interesting that Coach Brennan is having his practices open. But and I was never a Jimmy Johnson fan back when he coached Dallas. But you can't you can't doubt him for what he did, right? But he always used to say, I don't care about he'd say something like, I don't care about showing plays, fake punts, whatever. He goes, it's just something else for the other team to have to prepare for.
Yeah, so, I love open practice is great. I do have an answer for you. George did wear number 12 when he was here on campus, along with Mr. Tunnicliffe. Also, quarterback Hall of Famer Eddie Wilson also wore number 12 in the 50s.
There you go.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, there we go. So 12 days, boys. There we go.
12
I'll
days
be checking in
fall
periodically,
camp.
And I've already committed. My wife's already committed. I said, honey, and of course, because I don't drive, she said, I'll drive you down to the game. So she's going to make it an opportunity to see family, and she won't go to the games, but I'll still be there, and one way or another, I'll get down there.
Okay,
so
listeners, I think maybe we need to do some clarification here. This is Paul in Phoenix, listeners, who has been to every single football game for how long now?
Well, can I tell you? I've been a season ticket holder since '83. I have different stories of how I've had to try to make arrangements being out of town to get to the games. I did miss the UCLA game of 2021.
Okay. These are semantics. The point is, you've been going to games since the early 80s. You don't drive, and you've come down via shuttle for all these games for so long. So we need to, Tucson, collectively make some calls and make sure that whatever happens, Paul in Phoenix makes it down to the games every Saturday, because that's very important.
That's it. And if we're going to talk to the listeners and the folks out there, I don't think people really realize, and I don't even really realize, how fanatical these other fans are going to be when they come to our stadium. And I think our coaches have all said they want us loud and louder. I think. And, for that one person that I offended, I apologize to him last year at Family Weekend. I hate to break it to him, but if he comes back again and sits in my section, it's going to be even louder. So it's going to be, we have to this, because Kansas State's going to come in here, or whoever, not Kansas State, bad example. West Virginia's going to come in here.
Right.
And, show us how to be fans.
Well,
and I think that's going to be good for all of us.
It's a great point. And on that note, get your tickets, because there's a lot of schools that are going to be coming into Arizona Stadium that potentially have fans who've never been to Southern Arizona, never seen a saguaro with their own eyes. So there's a good excuse. So I would have a feeling, especially these next few cycles, first year or two in the Big 12, a lot of fans are going to be coming down to Tucson to try to take in some of those games. So get your tickets while you can.
And Paul, I want to ask you, because obviously I don't know if you were with us yesterday, but we celebrated my 16th anniversary here in Tucson. Moved here on July the 17th, 2008. And obviously one of the reason I came out here was to work for IMG College, which became Learfield. And one of the sponsorships that I was responsible for initially was the Cat Cruiser. That was one of my sponsorships. So I wanted to ask, I wanted to ask you, how far does that go back? How long have you been riding the Cat Cruiser down here?
I want to say it was definitely the late 90s that I remember. It may have been before that, but I remember because they had to move it around town a little bit. And, we used to have one bus and it went to two buses and whatnot. And I want to say late 90s, maybe even mid 90s possibly. So it's been around for a while. So it's like, but that's okay. There's maybe let's get some more enthusiasm going. And
well, that's just it. You talked about participation in the Cat Cruiser. Well, guess what? Bowl games and winning seasons lead to that. So they're on the right path. Well,
but think about this for a second. If I'm a booster out, whether it's West Virginia, wherever I'm at, right? I'm coming to Tucson and somebody says, hey, by the way, the ticket for the West Virginia game for an out-of-towner is $70 a piece. Let's just throw a number out there. Well, why wouldn't they just maybe consider buying a whole season ticket for $140 and sell the rest of their games and just spend that money?
Yeah.
And, not that they're not going to make it to every game, but in some cases for them, they don't care. $140, big deal. That's nothing. And you can buy season tickets still for, I think, $140. So it's still doable, folks. But we got to get out there and support this team. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously for me, there's a little anxiety as far as how our coaching is going to be. I don't know what to expect. So I just gotta wait.
Paul,
I
got one last question. How nice is it to go into a U of A football season with expectations?
It's
been a minute.
It's great, but it has been a minute. But at the same time, that's where the anxiety comes in, because aside from injuries, it's now it's definitely about execution with the key players, right? Okay, but those key players, unlike what our previous coach did, he used those key players pretty much exclusively. Okay, but I think Coach Brennan is going to allow more kids to be showcased. I was wrong last year. I thought for sure we're going to mix up the wide receivers, but that did not really happen that much. This year, I think Coach Brennan's going to try to make it so that we get 5 or 6 receivers participating, and we're going to need it. And lots of targets. And hey, it's who is it? Keon Burnett? He's the other kid from Servite, right?
Right.
And the tight end. I'm hoping the young man had a great off season, because if he's ready, he's going to get the ball too.
Well, they say, DK, they had like 7 consecutive all-conference tight ends under that system.
Tight ends are the thing in the system with Matt Atkins and Brent Brennan.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, we appreciate you as always. Real quick. So you are for Clemson and Florida State, or no? You're for that or against that?
I'm for it. I'm not crazy about the travel. But how often are they going to make us travel out there? You know what I mean? Exactly. I mean, really, we'll go to Clemson once every 2 or 3 years, and Florida State, same thing. I don't think airplanes get places, believe it or not. They take people places, I guess, and it's an extra 2 hours on an airplane. These kids, I don't know. My biggest stress right now is watching the non-home games and having to subscribe to ESPN Plus or wherever the games are going to be.
I mean, that's going to
be
I think
that's going to be money. That's going to be money out of my pocket because I'm going to have to get ESPN Plus. My wife's like, well, if my wife was like, okay, so if you have to get ESPN Plus, does that mean we can get rid of some of this other cable?
It's endless. It's endless. I think we need to stop with like the whole talk about travel because, guys, when we were all in school, it would have been reading a book or twiddling our thumbs. Like these guys all have smartphones in their pocket with a million apps. They got plenty of things to pass the time.
There
Not
you
a big
go.
deal.
JW, the voice of reason. David, congratulations on 16 years here in Tucson. I thought you were here a lot longer than that, but that's great. That's great.
He's always been here.
Thanks for what you guys do. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Paul. We appreciate you as well. All right, Paul from Phoenix, breaking some news on the show today. Bon Voyage Travel and Arizona Athletics, I believe they partner on the to provide the Cat Cruiser, but down from Phoenix for home football games, but that is going to be no more. So we'll have to reach out. Maybe we'll reach out to Rhino, because obviously Rhino is over Bon Voyage Travel and find out exactly what the final say and all that was. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Collisions that are reported at Swan and Broadway Boulevard in Swan, and also 22nd Street in Houghton. Anklam Silver Bell, some pavement improvements, and reportedly Anklam Silver Bell is closed for paving work through the end of the month. 15% chance of showers, 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
We don't have time enough to tell you the 100 reasons why you should shop at O'Reilly Chevrolet during our 100-year anniversary celebration, because this is a really short commercial.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Does Umar Ballo's decision to play for the Indiana Hoosiers change your feeling about his legacy as an Arizona Wildcats player?
Umar Ballo was about as Wildcat as it gets. Look at the smile on his face when he talks about what the McHale crowd means to him. That's real. How do you be a fan, David? That's the conversation we're having. You want to open that Pandora's box. Like, what does it mean to be a fan, and how do you fan? Well, that's really up to you.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Back to UberTube expert Eugene Snurkle and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, is it true you can't fix your car's air conditioning, so you're moving to Alaska or the North Pole or something?
Sorry, Doug. I meant to tell you, but I just can't seem to crack the code on fixing my car's AC.
Sorry to interrupt, Eugene, but we all know how this needs to end with a trip to Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Hi, folks. Sean Furrier here with some sizzling summer specials. Besides the chilly prices on AC repair and big tire rebates, we've also got Duramax 5-year free replacement batteries on sale this month with a $25 installation credit. That means free installation for most cars and trucks.
Seems a bit extreme.
Yes, Doug, an extremely tough battery built for Arizona, and you can be extremely confident in the Duramax 5-year free replacement guarantee. So for award-winning service, call or stop by one of our 14 area locations or make an appointment online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet? Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Napa Silent Guard Brakes. This is what former NFL MVP Rich Gannon told me about Davante Adams' future.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he wants to go anywhere. I think it'd be crazy to follow his buddy, who's going to be 41 this year, to New York. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to play 10 games, 12 games, 17 games.
Even with that being said, as long as Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy in 2024, I think Davante forces his way to the Jets next season. I'm Zach Gelb.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces,
how long have you been here? How's the summer going?
His venue never misses.
This will be my sixth week here.
The
summer's been going good. I think the biggest adjustment, honestly, has been the heat.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Trey Townsend arrives in Tucson from Oakland of Michigan, where he played for 4 seasons on the basketball team there. The latest transfer to Tommy Lloyd's program. Lawrence Trey Townsend spoke to the media today for the first time. Let's hear what he had to say.
How's it going? I'm good.
So fire away with questions when you're ready. Well, how's the how long have you been here, and how's the summer gone so far, I guess?
This will be my 6th week here in Michigan. The summer's been going good like this, but the biggest adjustment, it's been good. The group of guys that we have been coming together really well. You don't get like this. They've helped me adjust to it's been good. The group of guys that we have been coming together really well, and even the younger guys are teaching me every day. So playing at this level, no complaints at all. I've been having a blast, and even the younger guys are teaching me every day. So no complaints at all. I've been having a blast.
The biggest difference
the elite talent that every single player on this roster. The elite talent that every single player on this roster has. Everyone is an impact player that can help this team in any way. There's not one guy that's so far below someone else. And I also think the experience that this roster has. A lot of guys have played together, and the guys that have played meaningful minutes, so they're able to teach a lot of the new guys. Which has helped me, and I assume it helped, a handful of the other new guys kind of pick up, things that Coach Lloyd's teaching us, and adjust to this pace of play is another big thing, especially here at Arizona.
I'm sorry. Had you decided before the NCAA tournament that you were going to look to transfer?
Yeah, before the season, I sat down with Campy and we talked about options and things I wanted to do. I wanted to graduate from Oakland and get my degree from there. Both my parents played there, and my dad played for camps. So I always wanted to have that moment. And then fortunately, I was gifted extra year because of COVID. So in my mind, I had wanted to explore that. I had it. If I didn't have an extra year, I would have finished my career at Oakland. Since I was blessed with that opportunity, I decided I wanted to take it. That was something we had talked about before the season.
That process like going
that I never really imagined would be possible.
Meeting with different teams and different coaches. Take us through that process for you.
For sure. It was such a different thing for me because coming out of high school, I walked on at Oakland, so I had no recruiting experience or anything like that. And so being on phone calls it was a cool experience for me. The schools was something that I never really imagined would be possible. And it was a cool experience for me. Part of the reason I wanted to go through that was because I never had that coming out of high school like a lot of these highly recruited guys. But honestly, at times it was a little stressful, but it was what I wanted to go through. That's a part of the whole process, and I think I made a great decision, and it was fun.
Just to walk on as opposed to going, D2 or something like that.
So yeah, that's a great question. I had maybe one and a half scholarship offers for Division II schools in Michigan. But my dream, I always wanted to play Division I basketball. And Oakland was the only place that I had that opportunity, and it was that walk-on spot. And for it to be so close to home too, I wasn't too worried about it if it didn't work out, because in my mind I was like, okay, if it doesn't, I have these D2 schools I can go to, but I don't want to, regret not taking a chance and seeing what could have happened. Unfortunately, I was able to make most of the opportunity.
Yours maybe a case of where there's all this talk of the negative side of the portal, that it just sports become free agency and guys can bounce around, but with the story that you've explained of not having those opportunities, that this provides you with an opportunity to play for a school that maybe you would have never had a chance to. Do you look at it in that vein?
Yeah, obviously, the portal's got a lot, everyone has their opinions on it, everyone uses it differently. And for me, like I said, if I only had the 4 years, I would have, been at Oakland and finished my career there. But you well said it how you said it. It was like, I never had the opportunity to be recruited by these schools or go play at this level. And, I did my 4 years there and was able to, excel and develop under a great coach and a great system there. And, just kind of reap the rewards and benefits of that, but kind of as an intermediate stage between professional and the collegiate level since I had that extra year. So I look at it as a positive. I'm sure everyone has their opinions on it, though.
You're listening to the press conference for the Arizona Wildcats forward
that
Trace
NCAA
Townsend
tournament run,
on Wildcats
you had a
Radio
30-point game in there, a couple 20-point games, and you guys went on that run and beat Kentucky. How much do you think that played a role, those performances under the spotlight, played a role in terms of the schools that were looking at you and interested in your game personally?
I'd assume it helped, a good amount, for players that didn't have an extra year. The NCAA tournament helps, professional-wise. It's, national television. And for our game against Kentucky, it was prime time, 7 o'clock, national TV against, a school like Kentucky. So we knew going in there'd be eyes on us. And, Jack Golke had an amazing game too, and was, our whole team had a lot to do with us winning. And, even for those guys, it helped so many people. And what I've noticed outside of just basketball, though, it helps the university itself too. But for me, I think it played a huge role. I had a handful of good games against power conferences schools during the regular season that some people may have missed, but that was just a great platform for me to play.
And then what was it about Arizona and Coach Lloyd that stood out from other schools that were recruiting you?
I think it was just the determination that they had recruiting. I talked to Coach Lloyd the first day that they started recruiting me over the phone, and a lot of schools had just like assistant coaches or, kind of not head coaches reach out to me. So once, Coach Tommy Lilly, head coach of Arizona, contacts you, it's, that's a special thing. And I saw what they did with a guy like Keshad Johnson, who came here after a year, 4 years at San Diego State, and I saw what they did with him, and I believed in their vision that they had for me, and I think I could fill in that role that he had for this team last year.
It's early, but what kind of role have you been seeing for yourself position-wise?
I'd say, sliding into that spot that Keshad played, I want to expand my game three-point wise as they allowed him to do last year. That was another huge reason why I came here. I want to show that I'm a capable three-point shooter, and so far I've been able to do that through practices, and I really see myself kind of being that rebounder 3-and-D kind of guy for this team, to help us win in any way I can.
You kind of handle the ball a little bit at Oakland too?
I wouldn't say really at Oakland. Funny enough, in high school I was more of a 2-3, and I just kind of slid into that 5 role at Oakland because that's what I had to do to get playing time, and it just kind of stuck, and I stuck with that. So I didn't handle it too much, but I'm comfortable with handling the ball, and Coach Lloyd's letting me initiate offensive things here so far this summer, so I'm excited about that.
What about that possibility where he's got multiple guys doing that, and maybe lining up guys behind and around Jaden?
Yeah, for sure. He's really open to spreading the floor and letting guys kind of create and facilitate, not just from the 1 and 2 spots, which is a great thing to see. He kind of lets people play free, and that's always fun in the sport.
Outside of March, what did you learn from last year? Because outside of the power conference teams you played during the regular season, Horizon League was kind of shuffling at the top with you guys, Green Bay, Youngstown. What did you learn from kind of going through the ebbs and flows of the season to eventually come out as conference champions?
I think the biggest thing was just how important chemistry is on a team. I think you start to understand that a lot more as you get older, and thankfully, that team last year, we had a lot of upper-class guys who'd been through college sports. Jack Golke was a 6th-year guy who played 5 years at a D2 school, and we really came together on our international trip last year, spending 10 days together. As a college athlete, you're spending every day together anyway, but in a situation like that where you're literally 10 days straight just with the same guys all the time, you're forced to bond and get along, in that sense. And that helped us go through those ups and downs. At the beginning of the season, we struggled in conference play. We didn't have a true identity. But having a bunch of guys that had been through things like that were able to help the younger guys and new guys in the system, come together and then help us turn the season around. Like you saw the whole back half of the season, I think we lost maybe 3 games all of 2024. So I think just the camaraderie and chemistry of the team is, that's the best thing that I took away from that, and the friendships that you can build from it for sure.
How would you best describe Greg Campy?
It's a lot deeper for me, I think, than a lot of players for Oakland, because he's pretty much like a family member to me. Coaching my dad, I've been around him, gone to his camps my whole life. He's just a great, role model and inspiration for me as a player. He gave me the opportunity to walk on there, whereas, even if it maybe was a favor to my dad at first, it ended up he believed in me and put me in a position to, I started every single game that I played at Oakland. So just because he gave me the opportunity, he allowed me to work, for it, and, nothing was given to me, and he kind of instilled that hardworking mindset and, helped me get to where I am today. So I have a lot of admiration and give a lot of credit to him to where I'm at now.
Is he as fun as he seems to be?
He's actually, he'll tell you, you'll hear in interviews, he's softened up with the times, and he's, I don't know if you follow golf or anything, but he's a really good golfer, and he spends a lot of time doing that outside of basketball. So if you're ever talking to him or something, just bring up some golf. I never got the chance to golf with him. I'm not very good. I'd probably be a little too scared to golf with him, but no, he's a great guy, and got me to this situation. So I have so much love for him.
The drive-through when he was working that?
I did not, unfortunately. I think I was doing something else at the time, but the pictures from that were very comical, and it definitely put a smile on my face.
The move you made makes a lot of sense, and it's very common these days. But that said, with that relationship you had, does he give you a hard time about coming here?
Yeah, it's obviously from his perspective, it's tough to lose a player that you've seen grow through all the years. And I feel our relationship maybe would have been a little more shaky if this kind of came out of nowhere. But like I kind of said earlier, the idea was there. I talked to him in the spring of 23, somewhat well before this season started. And I think even more so with what we accomplished. I had a goal when I came to Oakland with him, and to do everything that we did last year, I think made it a little easier. Winning the first championship in the Horizon League and doing all the stuff I wanted to do growing up as a kid. I think he kind of felt that I deserved like this opportunity. And he'll always support me and want the best for me. And that's what I'm most appreciative for.
Transfer portal seems
all right,
to
that is Trey Townsend. We're going to hear more from him. His opening press conference today over at McHale Center. Transfer forward from Oakland of Michigan in the Horizon League. That'll be coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Did you get a new smart speaker from Prime Days? Make the most of it. You can stream us right on Wildcats Radio 1290, whether you're cooking, cleaning, getting the kids ready for school, or just relaxing. Let your new smart speaker bring you Wildcats Radio 1290 for free without any subscriptions. Just say, Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290. It's DK on the sports tip. I'm David Kelly. J-Dub is here. Cricket as well. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowdowns on westbound Ina as you approach Shannon. Collisions that are clearing at Swan and Broadway Boulevard and Swan, and also 22nd Street and Houghton. There's a slight chance of some showers today into this evening and 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The MLB trade deadline is right around the corner, and I'm Chris Mack here to help you beat the books with BetQL. With the Midsummer Classic over, the trade deadline now just a little less than 2 weeks away. Baseball back in action tomorrow, but it's a perfect time to look at which teams could make a playoff push in the next 2 months. I'm Chris Mack. Bet smarter. Beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It's Lee Come Key.
Welcome back to the Lee Come Key request line. Ready for something with a kick that's still smooth? Talk about a hot time at dinner time.
Crisscross.
This is America's #1 spicy mayo and non-GMO verified sriracha. It's the Sriracha Slide coming at you from Lee Come Key.
Turn it out.
Sriracha Slide on over to srirachalove.com to check it out.
Sriracha real smooth.
Who can Arizona taxpayers trust to defend our values? Not Juan Ciscomani. Ciscomani voted for Biden's debt, Biden's spending, and Biden's agenda, voting with Biden and the Democrats more than any Arizona Republican. That's Juan Ciscomani. Weak, woke, out of touch.
I'm Kathleen Wynne, Republican for Congress. Juan Ciscomani gives Ukraine hundreds of billions, but instead of defending our border, Ciscomani funds Biden's open borders agenda. It's time for a conservative change.
Kathleen Wynne is a bold conservative businesswoman with the courage to stand up to the D.C. cartel and stop the spending, stop the debt, and stop our nation's decline. Listen to Kathleen Wynne.
We elected Juan Ciscomani to block Biden's socialist agenda, but instead he's given Biden everything he wanted. I'm Kathleen Wynne, Republican for Congress, and I approve this ad because President Trump needs strong conservative leaders who will fight for taxpayers and always put America first.
Paid for by Win for Arizona.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are Tucson's home for Arizona Wildcats football. From fall camp to the Territorial Cup, we bring you all the action of Arizona football. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Final hour of today's program on this Thursday. Hope everything is well with you. Love to talk to you today. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Another day so far where we haven't gotten any rain. Knock on wood now. What's that? 4 days in a row since the big storm came through on Sunday. 105 degrees right now at 3 minutes past the 5 o'clock hour. Earlier in the show, we were talking about the WNBA and how they should maybe think about in the future taking advantage of these 2 days that happen right after the Major League Baseball All-Star Game when there's not a lot else happening. We're at the beginning of training camps for the NFL teams. Some of the Cardinals are starting to arrive up in Tempe. The Kansas City Chiefs are arriving at their training facility this week. We'll hear from them maybe tomorrow. Hear from head coach Andy Reid, quarterback Patrick Mahomes. They're staying on a college campus, living in college dorms. That's always fun when you talk about football. The guys, you have got to bring your own stuff. It's not a 5-star hotel. There's no room service. There's no fancy couches and TVs and that kind of thing. This is dorm living. It's like summer camp. When you would go to summer camp, did you ever go to a summer camp on a college campus or anything like that? Or did you ever go to a camp on a college campus?
I went to Rick Majerus' basketball camp.
Oh, there you go.
And I stayed there for that.
Yeah, that was always fun. Getting to stay on a college campus, getting that college feel and whatnot. And it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt if you were like there for a sports camp and there was a cheerleading camp going on at the same time.
Never hurts, DK. Never hurts.
That was you always hoped if you were a boy growing up in the 80s, going to a camp in the summertime, you were always hoping there might be a cheerleading camp or something of that nature happening at the same time as your sports camp on a college campus.
Most of my camps are like computer camps, and there were no girls there, DK. No girls.
Oh, there you go.
Not in the 80s.
All right. Sorry to hear that, J-Dub. How about Caitlin Clark last night in the Indiana Fevers game against the Dallas Wings?
We had a chance.
Take 2.
Pam Ward, Monica McNutt, Angel Gray with you. Last game before the Olympic break in the entire WNBA. Clark goes behind her back to get by Odyssey Sims, and that electrifies the crowd.
Matchup, but wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, my goodness. Ran into them in the NCAA tournament. And I was like, what do they feed the players in Texas? Well, what are they feeding Kate? Well, what are they feeding Clark? Because there we go with another behind the back and fancy finish.
Howard blocked by Boston. Here comes Caitlin. Get it! Count it for Clark. Caitlin through the lane. Boston from long range. Aaliyah Boston hits her 7th 3 of the season.
It's been really special and a fun year to be a part of. And we had a chance to ask Caitlin how is she taking care of herself. Great pass. What was that percentage? 60%.
Ooh, another fancy move by Clark. And now Samuelson's turn. But Cowan, who couldn't finish, behind the back again for Clark. Give her another assist and a chance for a three-point play for Smith.
What, he had 3 back behind the back Caitlin Clark passes?
Clark has played every second of this game. Chelsea Mitchell. Clark off the switch, found Smith, who laid it in. That is now 13 assists. Oh, Caitlin.
Beautiful. Another really well-executed play.
To McCowan, and now it's 10. Caitlin bottled up, but it doesn't matter. Caitlin, eyes up. Corner 3 for Hull. Hits it. Oh, boy. Perfect.
Assist 16.
Clark with the ball in her hands. Another perfect pass to Boston, who waited for Howard to get out of the way. Caitlin decided not to shoot. Mitchell will. Hits the three.
Oh, my goodness.
We're tied again.
This is incredible.
24 points, 19 assists for Caitlin Clark last night in that loss for the Fever, 101-93 to the Dallas Wings. But, man, was she performing out there.
How happy are Indiana fans right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would think they got to be real happy.
Well, have you ever heard of a young man by the name of Tyrese Halliburton?
Yeah.
Well, Tyrese Halliburton, if people didn't know, is 24 years old, right? 1 year older than Caitlin Clark. He's been in the NBA now for 4 years after 1 year at Iowa State. Tyrese Halliburton led the NBA in assists last year, DK. 11 assists per game, 1 assist more than second place Luka Doncic. Look who's leading the WNBA in assists right now. It's Caitlin Clark. She's a half assist ahead of Alyssa Thompson. So both Indiana point guards, who are both below the age of 25, are currently leading the two major professional basketball leagues in America in assists. A lot of happy Indiana fans. That's some good basketball. I mean, I don't know if you watched a lot of that, but, you know, I've always saw people look at the logo threes and they think Steph Curry, right? And that's the comparison. But to me, I look at her dribbling ability in tight spaces and think of Steph Curry, because Steph's what really puts the cherry on the top of Steph Curry's cake is that he can get to the basket through defenders, great vision, with the threat of knocking down a shot from 25 to 30 feet at any times. And that's ultimately the most gravity is the term that a lot of people use for Steph. I mean, she's just kind of getting her feet wet in the WNBA. She is averaging, I think, the most turnovers ever in league history, or has to be pretty close to it. Something around like 5.6 turnovers per game. Still trying to figure out the pace and how big and fast a lot of those women are out there. But, I mean, considering that she's got all this hype, DK, coming in, hasn't stopped playing basketball since what? Last September or something like that.
And played 40 minutes.
Yeah, played
40 minutes.
The whole game. She's definitely got tired legs, has to have tired legs at this point, and currently leading the WNBA in assists in her rookie season.
The 19 assists in a game broke the mark of 18 set by Courtney Vandersloot. She had set that record back in 2018 for the Chicago Sky against the Indiana Fever. I mean, you mentioned all these great guards in Indiana. How in the heck is Umar Ballo going to get any attention when he's going to compete with Caitlin Clark and Tyrese Halliburton for basketball time in that state? Let's hear from Caitlin Clark after the game, who was really more concerned about losing and the fact that not that she had 24 points and 19 assists, but she turned it over 6 times.
She's going to say it means nothing, but I think it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. So it's all right. I just think I do, like, I just try to set my teammates up for success. I think at times, like, I can almost overpass, and that can maybe, I don't know, there probably could have been a few times where instead of passing that leads to turnover that I might have, I can probably shoot the ball. But especially with AB, like, I'm just looking to set her up so much. Like, my eyes are just always on our post players, whether that's Liz or whether that's AB or whoever's in the game at the time, and then kind of look out from there. But yeah, I mean, we still didn't shoot it very good from 3, and I thought we finished really well around the paint. I'm sure our points in the paint were pretty good. 62 points in the paint, so yeah. I honestly think just pick and roll, like, we were getting whatever we wanted to the rim, and like AB was sealing really well. Like, offensively, we were able to get whatever we wanted all night. It felt like it was just our defense. Like, we gave up 28 points off turnovers, and I think 20 of those were in the first half, and like, so that really kills you to start the game. And just got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. Like, give up 100+ points, you're not going to win very many games. Like, that's just the reality of it. But we did a pretty good job of hanging with them and probably gave people an entertaining game. It was fun there in the last 4 minutes. It was pretty back and forth, I guess. Yeah, the late turnover definitely kills, for sure. It's like a fine line of, they were up pressuring me, so then I kind of got behind them and was able to attack, and then I tried to pull it out and kind of lost my handle while getting poked from behind. So that one definitely killed. And I think I only had 1 turnover in the second half, and we'd done a pretty good job of taking care of it a little better in the second half, but that one's really costly and you can't have it. So from that point, it's pretty hard to win a game once it becomes 3 possessions. And at that point, we had it at 2. So, but is what it is, I guess.
Alyssa Boston had 28 points in that game for Indiana, 11 of 14 from the field. So, again, getting set up down low off the moves of Caitlin Clark. But they lose on the road. Odyssey Sims had 24 for the Wings. Arike Agumbawale, say that 5 times fast, also had 24. Arike Agumbawale from Notre Dame, who hit a shot once to win a national championship. But on a struggling Dallas team that won for just the 6th time. So now we're on the break, the All-Star break. The All-Star game comes to Phoenix on Saturday. It'll be the U.S. women's national team against the WNBA All-Stars. We'll get into that a little bit tomorrow. Also, we're going to hear from Caitlin Clark coming up a little bit later in the show on finally getting a break. First time since November, since the start of college basketball season. She's going to get a month off as the Olympics will be conducted, and they will not play again until mid-August.
Maybe she'll rent a yacht. Did you ever see that video? No. There's a video of her and her Hawkeyes teammates.
Oh, is that on a yacht?
Yeah, they were off. I think there was like a preseason tour.
Oh, there you go.
And because she had some NIL money, she just one day was like, I wonder how much it would cost to rent a boat. And then there's just all these pictures of
a boat.
Her and her entire team like out on this boat. It was in Greece or something, like some crazy, beautiful place. So, yeah, she's got some time off, well deserved.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. She's definitely deserved of a little bit of a break, and I'm sure she will rest up and enjoy that for sure. Folks, it's that time of the year. Families and friends gathering in the backyard and burgers and dogs sizzling on the grill. The perfect time to upgrade your backyard barbecue with a chance to win $5,000 in the Hot Off the Grill giveaway. Buy the biggest, shiniest grill you can imagine, or throw a huge backyard bash and hire someone to grill for you. Maybe you can get J-Dub to come over and grill for you. He's pretty good with the grill and making some nice eats over there. Again, it is the $5,000 Hot Off the Grill giveaway. Head on over right now, wildcatsradio1290.com to enter to win this fabulous contest. $5,000 for the best cook-off you can cook out you can have this summer. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We're going to hear more from Trey Townsend straight ahead, the newest Arizona Wildcat men's basketball player. Also, we're going to hear from your Arizona defensive linemen. We'll get you a little football as well before we get out of here and let you know about the kind of the new philosophy that Brent Brennan's defense is going to have this season. Cricket, though, right now, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
Riley Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With Roger Road at Stone Avenue, traffic on Roger east and west of Stone Avenue travel blocked for repair work, might reopen tomorrow. Also road work, Country Club in Glen, southbound Country Club approaching Glen is down to 1 lane, no left turns permitted from Country Club onto Glen. And for your weather, a slight chance of some showers today into this evening and 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tucson, remember, 1290 is the one and only home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. When you're listening to Brian Jeffries call the game, you're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Marco!
Polo!
Marco!
Polo!
In a giant pool of business competitors, don't be the one left unseen and out of reach. If you're a business owner and need help with your online presence, let's make it happen. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Boost your website, boost your findability, boost your reputation, boost your business.
Marco?
Yes, I'm Marco.
Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Kathleen Wynne is running for Congress because Juan Ciscomani is too weak, too woke, and too afraid to defend our values and fight for us. Ciscomani claims to be pro-Trump, but won't even be in Milwaukee this week because Ciscomani's worried more what Democrats think of him than what you think. And it only gets worse. Ciscomani gave Biden $4 trillion in new debt to fund his woke far-left agenda, including money for Ukraine, Planned Parenthood, and sex change operations on minors. And last week, Ciscomani was MIA on defunding Jack Smith, and it failed by 1 vote, Ciscomani's vote. Kathleen Wynne stands with President Trump to secure our border, fight for taxpayers, and stop the deep state. Kathleen Wynne for Congress. It's time for a change from Rhino Juan Ciscomani. Time for a conservative change.
I'm Kathleen Wynne, and I approve this ad, paid for by Win for Arizona.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-290-1583. 800-290-1583. Again, that's 800-290-1583. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Arizona Wildcats fans, make your smartphone smarter by liking us on Facebook at Wildcats 1290 for all the latest on the Wildcats, including football, men's hoops, and baseball. This is the exclusive home of Arizona football. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Kohl's. This season, find everyday style at great prices at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Over in the WNBA, the Chicago Sky had a busy 24 hours. Yesterday, they traded Marina Mabrey to the Connecticut Sun for sharpshooter Rachel Banham. The night before, the Sky went into Las Vegas and defeated the two-time defending champion Aces 93-85. Chicago was led by Kennedy Carter, who had 34 points in the victory. Carter may be one of the most underrated players in the league, and while she's known to most fans for her dust-up with Caitlin Clark earlier this season, Carter is Chicago's leading scorer, but was not selected to the Olympic or All-Star team.
I've been overshadowed a lot in my career. People don't understand that I'm a consistent player and I'm going to come out there and be a dog night in and night out. It's just my comfortability. I want to just go play hard, 100%, whole game.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Maggie Gray on Westwood One.
Okay, if you're sleeping on the hot summer styles and great prices at Kohl's, you're missing out.
I just shopped there and scored stylish shirts for my husband, along with some cute crochet dresses for myself. Plus, I saved 30% with my Kohl's card. But even if you don't have one, you can still save an extra 20% on some other great finds and earn Kohl's Cash. So what are you waiting for? Take your summer style from hot to sizzling and get to Kohl's. Select styles, 20% off GPO, valid through July 21st. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, why don't you text APP to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link. You can download our app, and then you can take Wildcats Radio 1290 wherever you want to go. You can communicate with us through our app. In fact, it's real easy, folks, to do just that. We give you 3 ways on our app to communicate with us. You can communicate with us via text. All you have to do is hit the button that says message the station, and you can write a message to us. You can communicate with us by recording an audio message, and just be careful that we might play your audio message on the air. We've been known to do that with some of those audio messages that come through there. Also, you can share media. If you're out somewhere and you want to show us a picture of where you are, just shoot us a video.
If there's a street that's closed
something
without a sign that tells you that the street's closed, please take a picture of that and send it to us. Yes.
In fact, speaking of text, we got a caller that has checked in on the text group today. Hey, we were talking about the rain, how it hasn't rained in 4 days, which is a good thing because after what happened on Sunday, and there's so many people dealing with not having roofs and those kind of things. But this caller says, hey, we live in the desert. Anytime it rains is a good time. The desert always needs rain. If it didn't, it wouldn't be a desert. No amount of rain is too much ever. Keep this in mind when you're making your wishes, hopes, and dreams on the radio. Thank you for checking in on the text group. I'm just concerned about all those folks that suffered rain damage out there on Sunday who could really use not having to try to deal with how they're going to keep water out of their homes.
You just celebrated your 16-year anniversary. You're familiar with the cycles of Tucson.
Exactly.
I've been here since 1975, listener. So when DK said that earlier, what he really said was the amount of damage. I mean, if you look around town, Miranda got hit really bad. Remember what happened last year at that football game? There's a whole bunch of, Tucson gets more than 12 inches of rain annually. Might not even qualify for the quote desert title, but we all know here in Tucson, whenever the rain falls, it's not a good thing. It's a great thing. We always celebrate rain. It's just the rain these last few storms, DK, have been of the more violent variety, trying to make sure that people don't get trees falling on their houses. That's all we're watching out for. That's all.
Absolutely. All right, let's hear some more of Trey Townsend, the newest Arizona Wildcat, as he arrived here in Southern Arizona, held his first press conference today. More about who he is as a basketball player and what he hopes to add here to the Wildcats.
Transfer portal seemed to kind of join the puzzle that's already like 90% put together. But you committed, and then Caleb came back, and Jaden made his decision, came back. Does it feel like all the puzzle pieces of this team kind of came together around you after you committed? And how exciting is that? But you committed,
I mean, it's definitely an exciting feeling. I think even before I committed, there was a lot of great pieces already on the team. And like you said, after I did commit, seeing those guys come back, and a guy like Tobe Awaka and Anthony Delorso just come together, like you said, a big puzzle. It was so great to see, and I was so excited to be able to get here and play with these guys. I didn't know him before, these talented people, and I'm just so excited for this season. But obviously, it feels good when you got a bunch of guys coming in after you and the guys before you on one team like we do here.
Particularly with Tobe, because he came in after you. I think the thought was, I guess he's maybe more going to be like a post
like a backup 5 or whatever. I don't know, but like, did you feel like that was a complimentary fit to bring him in? And did you know him before? How did that?
I didn't know him before. A couple days after me. He visited a couple days after me, and I was talking to Coach Murphy, and he told me about Tobey and who he was as a person. And just outside of all basketball, him and I are so similar personality-wise. So I knew that was a guy that I'd want to play with. But another thing about him is the physicality that he plays with is sort of, how I got by at Oakland was me being undersized. I had to find another way to, succeed. And he brings another attitude, another element of that attitude and toughness and grit that, I think any team would need. So like you said, if it's playing the 4, playing the 5, he's going to, bring a spark of energy. And off the court, him and I are, the closest, I think, so far. And we've been bonding the best. So it's been great.
A chance to work with Chris Rounds, and if so, how has that been like, and what is that experience like?
It is. He's such a great guy, and Tobey and I have, we talk to him every single day after weights, before weights, and it's definitely a lot different, experience than it was at Oakland. The intensity of these workouts. Not saying Oakland workouts were hard or anything. I put on 40 pounds while I was at Oakland, and kind of here it's more of now sculpting that down, shedding body fat, and it's a lot of different weightlifting, but it's so intense, and I think it's only going to help us injury prevention. That's what I've heard. But him as a person, it's been great, and I can't help but talk to him for an hour before and after these lifts.
It seems like a major part of your decision was not only stuff like that, but kind of player development that this coaching staff has shown through their time at Arizona. Is that correct?
100%. And in my 6 weeks here, I've seen it. Every single coach, wants every single player on this team to reach their maximum potential and, even go past that. And, even Coach Lloyd is individually working out players, and you'll go through film sessions. Every single coach here wants the best for everyone. So whatever the steps that will be to get there, they're going to find a way to, have you reach your potential. And, that's the most exciting thing you can ask for.
At this point, have you worked out with and met all the guys? I know players have been coming and going.
We have pretty much everyone's here. Conrad and Krivas are still playing for their national teams right now, but for the most part, my entire time this summer, everyone else we've had around and gotten to know chemistry-wise on the court and off the court real well, and it's been going good. As I've said, we're looking pretty good, and the key pieces are helping all the new guys learn, myself included, and it's been great practice so far.
Did you get to meet, so did you get to work out with Mo before he left, or?
I didn't get to work out with him, but he was here when I visited. So I introduced myself. Conrad wasn't here at that time, so I've yet to meet him in person. But those are two more huge pieces that we're adding to an already great team. So I'm just more excited to meet more guys.
So you mentioned the heat of Tucson, you're getting used to that. Have you been able to try any Mexican cuisine while you've been out here?
We have. My favorite Mexican spot is Momo's right across the street. I had that on my visit, and I've already had it a couple times while I'm down here. And then with the heat, like you said, I feel like I'm adjusting to it. I went home this past weekend. I was able to play in a golf outing at my high school. And it was 85, but all my friends were dying, and I was like, well, maybe I am adjusting to that 115-degree weather because it doesn't feel too bad out here right now. So, no, the Momo's definitely my favorite spot right now.
Are you a Detroit-style pizza fan?
Surprisingly, no. I'm just a classic round guy. But I love all pizza, so if it's in front of me, I'll eat it for sure.
A Detroit-style one here, but I've heard it's not very good.
Okay.
So that's why, if you're not a fan,
I'll still have to give that a shot. Then I do love pizza. Burgers and pizza are probably my top two favorite kind of foods.
People that have had any connection to Arizona, the whole state, really.
Not really. Honestly, coming on my visit was the first time I'd been in the state really as an older kid adult. So this is all new experience for me, for my family. I know they're loving that I'm somewhere warm. My sister already told me that she's coming here sometime in December, and she's staying for a long time. She doesn't know how long, but I'm like, that checks out. It'll be probably 12 inches of snow and below freezing in Michigan at that time. So feel free to come down. But they're happy for that. They'll make some trips out of it and get to watch some good basketball along with that.
Great Lakes winters for a while.
That's the one thing is I know they'll say they still have betters, the Great Lakes, but they'll be down here probably all those cold months while I'm in some warm weather all year. So,
Excitement level, Arizona moving to the Big 12 and just getting to play in the Big 12 conference and going through that new experience with this team as well.
You know, the whole reason I entered the transfer portal was to be able to play college basketball at the highest level, and with that move, I feel the Big 12 is probably the best conference there is in college basketball right now, and being able to jump right into that, like, how could you not be excited? Those high profile games night in and night out, there's not any game that you look at and you're like, thankfully we're playing them. Every single game is going to be a battle. It's going to be physical. And, that's kind of like what I said about Tobe and I, and that's the style of basketball we love to play. So like I said, how could I not be excited?
I'm obviously familiar with this team and Tommy before you got here. Was there anything, and you touched on this a little bit, anything since you've been through drills and stuff that just jumped out at you about the style that you're now a part of and the game that you're looking at playing coming up?
For sure. I think the biggest thing basketball-wise is just the pace that, we play at here. At Oakland, we tried to play at a faster pace, but against the power schools, we kind of tried to slow it down and control tempo because, now that I'm here, the bigger schools like to play at a faster tempo, get more shots. And I think that's the biggest thing I've noticed from a strategic standpoint. But I think I always will go back to just the dedication of the entire staff to improving everyone individually. It's just something that's unmatched, and it's great to see. It makes you want to come to practice, come to workouts every day because you genuinely feel like your coaches, wants you to be the best that you can be. So.
From what you're telling us about Oakland, a lot of it was, especially against the power conference schools, was more of a structured style. Tommy's system, we've heard from other players that he gives players a lot of freedom and a lot of agency to, play the game how they want, how it plays to their strengths. Has that been an adjustment period for you, or is that something that you've always kind of felt was a strength of yours?
Honestly, when I first was here, it was an adjustment, which you might not think, going from running a bunch of plays to, playing freely. But I learn things and, pick up things quick. So at Oakland, Campy's big on set plays, and he's one of the best coaches in the country on running plays. And, any play that he runs, if you execute it right, you're going to get an open shot. It's just, a matter of if you can make it or not. I'm going from that style to, like you said, more free, up and down, I kind of had to find not a new identity, but a new style of play and, not always look for a play to run. So, I struggled a little bit at first, but it's starting to come along, learning, the motion offense. And, Coach Lloyd's, he'll sprinkle in plays here and there. But like you said, most of the time it's a free style of play, and I think that'll help me, obviously this year, but, in future endeavors, not everyone's going to run a whole bunch, a set every single time down the floor. But, it's been a good adjustment.
The bigger adjustment might be on the defensive side of the court, because we've heard past transfers talk about adjusting defensively to what Tommy wants compared to what they were learning at their old school.
Yeah, I think just anywhere I would have went would have been a huge adjustment. We played a matchup zone at Oakland, and that's all I played my entire career there. So a big question of me was, how would I adjust to playing man defense? And I think Coach Rounds actually plays a huge part in that, leaning me up a little bit, losing some body fat to get me, laterally quicker. It has been a huge thing, and, I'm making the progresses there, and I feel I'm doing a great job with that. But, it's definitely an adjustment, I think, coming from playing zone to a man defense at this level. But I think that I've been pretty successful so far, and I think it's only going to go up as, I'm working out.
Does that help in terms of the communication side of man defense? Because there's a lot of, help out moments and stuff like that, where zone's a lot of communication in itself.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's definitely helped me communicate a lot. The zone that we played was so, tough to teach to new guys that as I got older at Oakland, I had to really be even more vocal than I already was. And coming here and playing man, there's still certain, movements and slides that are similar in man and zone. So being able to communicate those to guys, and help them as much as I can, even though I'm still learning, has been great, and I think has helped the whole team defensively so far.
Toby, I thought maybe Anthony you mentioned too. I assume you've worked with him a lot, and kind of just your thoughts on what he brings since we haven't seen him much.
Yeah, if you've seen the highlights, he's such a gifted scorer and he has such a high IQ for the game of basketball. And he's really good at teaching guys too. He's one of those new guys that has been helping me, kind of offensively fit into the system, even though he hasn't played here. He understands the game so well that he's able to help everyone offensively and defensively. I think he's a guy that's going to bring a great amount of scoring, and he'll keep improving on defensive end along with me and the new guys like Tobe. So definitely a great addition for sure.
All right, that is Trey Townsend, newest Arizona Wildcat. A couple things that stand out about him. He has started all 129 games that he has played in college. Fancies himself as a 3-and-D guy, maybe the follow to what we saw with Keshad Johnson. Career 31% from 3, but he shot 38% the last 2 seasons taking limited looks. So we'll see how that pans out.
All I got to know, DK, is
this season
a player goes unrecruited and walks on and becomes the player of the year in their conference. That's all I ever need to know, because what that tells you is work ethic and continuing to fight and get harder and better every single day. If you maybe are a little undersized, maybe you don't have the jump shot coming out of high school, work your way up to being the consensus player of the year in your conference, DK. That says a lot about the sticking with the plan and staying in the gym and getting those shots up.
Trey Townsend, looking forward to seeing him this season in an Arizona Wildcats uniform. DK on the sports tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some busy travel on Oracle at Prince Road, collision at First Avenue and Grant. Bridge construction work on Abra Valley Road west of I-10 over the Santa Cruz River will occur through Friday. And for your weather, a slight chance of some showers this afternoon into this evening, and a 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are just 45 cents each at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. Ends 9/14. Prices valid in select stores. Limit 30. Save big on back to school at Staples.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! No, it's...
I'm Captain Tobacco from Tobacco Barn.
My tobacco hero.
I'm here to wipe out high prices on tobacco products. I'm also here to inform citizens that you could save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products. Pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Uh-oh, I see high prices. Excuse me.
Save up to 40% off all your tobacco products at Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn is on the Indian Reservation, so you're not paying state tax or any city sales tax. Plus, you can get a coupon for an additional $3 off at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Take it from Captain Tobacco. Save up to 40%. Save with no city or state sales tax. And save with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Well, time for me to fly.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
DK on the sports tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, following the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, I'm April Rose, and we all know about the speed of sound. But have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Wings y Mas, located at 1145 West Prince Road, isn't your typical chain wing restaurant. They're locally owned and operated so they can and do put the customer first. They have happy hour Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. with wing specials that go along with it. On Mondays, get half off 1 dozen wings, and Wednesdays, get 12 wings for just $12. Okay, it's obvious. They have wings. So what's the Imas part? Imas are items like tostitos preparados, churro bites, and a family recipe salsa and chips that is a must. Check out their full menu on Instagram. Wings y Mas also has 6 TVs showing your favorite sports and all college and pro football games. Wings y Mas is your go-to spot for wings. Wings y Mas, we do wings.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Wings y Mas. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at wildcatsradio1290.com.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find the store at metalsupermarkets.com. I think the AFC East is going to have some new wide receivers come the 2025 season. The Patriots need a number 1 wide out and should throw a ton of cash towards T. Higgins. It also seems like there's a good chance Devontae Adams will be reuniting with Aaron Rodgers and playing for the Jets next year. And I ultimately believe the 49ers pay Brandon Ayuk and then trade Deebo Samuel, and the Bills would be wise to pull off that deal. I'm Zach Gelb.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program. Final phase of our show today, and we want to get into some Arizona Wildcat football as we are just 12 days away from fall camp beginning. Yeah, we'll be on vacation next week, and when we come back, it all begins on Tuesday, July the 30th at Arizona out at the practice fields, and looking forward to that. We've been introducing you to some of the new coaches that we've got on the staff this season and the position groups that they are going to be managing. Joe Samalo, he's got a son that plays in the National Football League. He's been a longtime member of the coaching staff under Brent Brennan at both Oregon State as well as San Jose State. He is going to be in charge of the defensive linemen, and it's going to be a little bit different philosophy than we've seen maybe the last few years with how the defensive line will operate. They're going to be much more aggressive in what they do up front with less gap-oriented schemes.
All I've ever cared about was just path of least resistance and just go. I think the benefit is you force the offense to tighten the splits. I got a double. I think if you're playing on their side of the ball, 2 things will occur. Number 1, you'll make the play in the backfield, or number 2, you'll get 2 guys to block you, right? And if you're on that side of the ball, it's a little bit more defined with linebackers coming downhill and they know exactly what's going on, because the big word for me is to be decisive, right? So if you're in the A gap, be vertical in the A-gap. That is defined by the hip. And again, I'm not a big gap guy. I'm a big just play in that area. Whatever that area that's between the guard and center or the guard and tackle, and then be able to play on their side of the ball. You've heard coaches talk about that deal in terms of playing, 2 yards on their side of the ball. To me, I don't have a 2 yards. I have just, the ability to rush the passer and at the same time defend the run.
So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be interesting to see how that all kind of plays out. A little less gap integrity in this defense. Get on the other side of the ball and then just occupy and create havoc in that space. So that's going to be Joe Somalo and the scheme that Danny Gonzalez will employ along with their defensive coordinator as well, and how the players kind of think that's going to work. Let's hear from Tahi Ugalungalele as well as Dominic Loliso.
Yeah, he's essentially taking all the thinking out of the play. He just wants us to play football, get a field, cause havoc. If you're gonna mess up behind the line of scrimmage, to at least cause havoc in the backfield.
Yeah, it just allows us to play our game. He wants us to elevate by not thinking as much and just obviously just going.
Yeah, I mean, you get smart guys, EK, who can read and react with the physicality. I mean, we've seen that a bit here in Arizona. Some of the better defensive teams in my memory, those guys had less gap responsibilities as just get after the quarterback and make sure that you don't let that running back by you. But yeah, I mean, what those guys just said right there, the freedom to play the game, right? To just do their thing and read and react.
Yeah, and it's going to be, again, Dwayne Akina is taking a lot of the philosophies that we saw that were kind of integrated with Johnny Nansen. I remember the first conversation I had with Johnny Nansen and when he took the job, and he was like, well, it's going to be a lot less complicated than it was under Don Brown. Don Brown, Dr. Blitz was all about the intricacies, and he's like, I don't want my guys to have to think that much. I just want them to have the freedom to go out and play. And it sounds like with Dwayne Akina in there now leading this defense, along with Danny Gonzalez and Joe Somalo and some of the other defensive coaches, that it's going to be kind of a continuation of that type of style. And it's a style that Somalo believes is going to be very beneficial to Chuba May.
Chuba is relentless, and I think this will be an advantage for him because that's what they do in the NFL. They align with width, and their angle of departure goes like this. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, is to be able to play on your opponent's side of the ball.
And a lot of these guys, much like we heard from the defensive backs, the stars the other day, you've got a lot of guys that are learning multiple positions. Uiagalelei is another one of those guys that can play both inside and outside. The differences in that?
Edge rusher, you get a lot more room to work. Inside is a lot of physicality, a lot of dirtiness, roughness.
And Somalo talks about why Tai is a guy who can play both inside and outside for this defense.
He's strong and smart and savvy, and he's got that football IQ, knows where to get lined up, understands how to align so therefore he can execute. Because you have those players that are, developmental players, and they know exactly what I call the conscious competence, unconscious players. Sometimes guys do things so right that they're wrong, but he's one of those guys that have that innate ability to play.
And Uiagalelei is probably going to be a guy that you're looking to star on this defense. Bill Norton, obviously, we thought he was going to be in the mix, but decided to make that transfer to Texas. So it's going to be some, again, this is maybe the one unanswered question on this defense, is what to expect from this defensive line. We'll have to kind of watch how that all unfolds come this fall. Let's get you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290.
It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook.
Arizona's best bet.
Caitlin decided not to shoot. Mitchell will hits the three.
my goodness. We're tied again. This is incredible.
19 assists, a WNBA record last night for Caitlin Clark in the final game before the Olympic break. She's got the All-Star game this Saturday out here in Phoenix, but what is she going to do with her first time off since November once that All-Star game is done?
For sure. I think it'll be really good for myself and my body. Obviously I would love to be at the Olympics, and that's something I can work for and, hopefully achieve one day. It gives you some motivation to want to be there. But yeah, I think it'll be definitely good. I feel like I've been nonstop go since probably September of last year. So almost you're getting close to a full year of just playing basketball nonstop. So it'll probably be a little weird for me not playing games. But I think it's definitely gonna be good for my body. And then additionally, we have time for us to practice and really work on things that we need to work on going into the last 15 games or so of the season, however many it is, that are really important for us too. Taking a week probably to kind of do whatever I want to do. And I told Christy, I was like, it's probably going to feel really weird. I feel probably I'm going to be anxious that I'm not touching a basketball, but I need to not. I think it'll be really good. And then obviously get back to Indianapolis and really just be there training for 3 weeks with the team, and then try to do a bunch of stuff on my own, basketball wise and then strength wise. Really just take advantage of every opportunity that I have. Honestly, I feel pretty good. I think the beginning of the season was probably the most difficult for me, just the adjustment of, first of all, playing in this league, and then second of all, the schedule that we had of, playing a game, having a day off, playing a game. There wasn't much time to really practice and learn my team. And I think once we really kind of got into a flow and got a few wins under our belt and had a little more practice time, things have kind of settled and flowed a little better. So I feel like I'm definitely trying to, feel like my feet are definitely getting under me more and starting to build more and more confidence. And, I think the more time I have to really work with my team and, work individually on things that I want to get better at too over the course of the next few weeks will only give me more confidence too. Yeah, I think, once a team can get a few wins under their belt, they can start building confidence. I think that's certainly helped us. I think obviously our schedule has slowed down a little bit of a game, and we have a few days in between. We're having an off day here and there, a little more of a normal basketball schedule. And, we're also just a young group. So it's going to take time for us to really understand how to play with one another, to learn our teammates. And, obviously AB and I are in our first and second years. So just learning one another. And I think that comes with game experience. And you're seeing that the more we're out there actually playing in games together, you can really tell our chemistry is still building. And I feel like we're kind of just scratching the surface, and there's so many areas that we can still continue to improve. And at times we show glimpses where we're really, really good. And then at times we, aren't all connected for four quarters. So I think it's continuing to find a way to put 4 quarters together.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290.
It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook,
Arizona's best bet.
Well, imagine if she had made the All-Star, the Olympic team, and then had to come back and play the final month of the season. There's another 14 games after the Olympics. The season doesn't end until September 19th, and then if you make the playoffs, you might be playing into October. She'd have been pretty much playing competitively for an entire year if she'd been on the Olympic team. So nice to give her a break. So she's going to be full fresh, come back. And they open against the Phoenix Mercury in Indiana when they come back on the 16th of August.
It's important, DK, to have some boat time every once in a while.
Absolutely. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to our guest, Nils Roth, for JW Madden. My name is David Kelly, and Cricket as well. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Friday at 3. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Ina and Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa and Ina. There are some backups on westbound for westbound traffic on Ina as you approach Shannon. And also in the clearing, we've got Valencia and 12th Avenue, 22nd Street in Wilmot, and also Grant Road and 1st Avenue. And heads up, there is a thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:30. And currently 104. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Superstar Car Wash.
Unbelievable savings at Superstar Car Wash. Lock in unlimited car washes for just $15 a month with our clean plan. Available at any of our 49 Arizona locations or online. Visit superstarcarwash.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Welcome to NFL Flag. In this game, there's a position for everyone. No matter who you are, just bring it. Get ready to run, throw, jump, and fly. This game is our game. Let's play. Visit NFL.com to find a league and get playing today. And tune in to the NFL Flag Championships, presented by Toyota. Live from Canton, Ohio on July 19th through the 21st on ESPN, ABC, and Disney Networks.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like